think we're on the main channel.
Yeah. Go ahead. All right. Shalom, Akim, and Aqua. So we're out here to prophesy the downfall of this evil, wicked queendom. First, we want to start off by turning to the east.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakodash.
All right, Shalom, Akim, and Aqua. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. The apostles and the elders at Great Millstone that taught us this doctrine in truth and sincerity. All right, Shalom to the elect. So again, we're out here to prophesy the downfall of this evil, wicked queendom that's ran by what? Esau Edom, which is a self-proclaimed white man. Okay, his true nationality is what? Being an Edomite. Okay, and we're here to what? Expose him, put that great inquisition on him, and expose him for his evil, wicked deeds. Also to what? Wake up our people, which are you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites. You are the saints of the Bible. This Bible was written for you. Okay, but the thing is that 2/3 of our people are not going to get the message. That's why we say what the hopeful elect, or the elect. We're only reaching to the elect. Okay, which is what? A select member of what the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, because that's how the story's been written. So our Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. Okay, that's in the ancient Hebrew. We're coming back to our heritage. Hashem in the name. Okay, of His only begotten Son, who the well ignorant calls Jesus Christ. We know His name to be Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer, He is the Savior. Okay, of the Hebrew Israelites from the pedigree of your father. Right? Hashem in the name of the Ruach HaKodesh, which means what? The Holy Spirit. That's able to give us the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of who we are. Okay, which again are the true Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, are of the speckled bird, looking like the other nations, because again, we were spread around the four corners of the earth. Some of our people are going to be looking like Amalek, okay, but they're actually Israelites. Okay, some people are going to be looking like what? Moabites, but they're going to be what? They're actually going to be Israelites, okay? That's why this thing is what? Spiritual. Romans 8 and 16, where it speaks about...
A quick precept for you. This is Jeremiah 31 and 10. And it reads, "Hear the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, O ye nations, and declare to the isles afar off, He saying, He hath scattered Israel. He that scattered Israel will gather them and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock."
Yeah, because we were scattered. Why? Because we went off, following after false gods and false idols, not following the law, statutes, and commandments that was given to us by our forefathers. So we were spread around what they call the diaspora. Okay, we were held captive by what we see the nations. But now, in this twilight, this decline of Esau Edom's queendom, this is the end of any heathens ever ruling again. Okay, so the Lord has done a miracle, a wondrous work by waking us up out of gross darkness. Because again, our whole head was sick. Right? We didn't know who we were. We were black. Again, we were white. Or well, some people call themselves. They don't know what they are. Okay.
Some of the Israelite foreigners who look like so-called white people.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're calling themselves white.
We had we believe through the spirit to be an Israelite foreigner that came up before camp and was inquiring, and he said his father, was from the Pacific Islands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he had the spirit of a Jake.
Yep. And that's what it is to wake up our people spiritually, okay? Because Esau is a cardinal man, okay? And then we know that our Lord doesn't dwell in temples made with hands. This is a spiritual thing that the Lord is raising up the temple, okay? Which is the tabernacle of David, right? And that's around the four corners of the earth. You have men waking up, calling on the name of Yahweh Bashem Shai, the ancient Hebrew, okay? But speaking different languages, but all coming in the same doctrine, which is the word of Yahweh Shai.
Got a quick precept. This is Isaiah 11 and 11 and 12. And it reads, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea." Isaiah 11 and 12.
So real quick, is that speaking about all the other nations? No, that's speaking about the Israelite foreigners and all different captivities we're in. Just like we're over here in America, okay, and people call themselves American. Okay, when you're actually, your heritage would actually go back to being a Hebrew Israelite, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, right? We know that goes back to the pedigree of your father. Okay? And the Lord is through Abba Bivens in the 1969, 1970, okay, when he came on the scene, right, that he had the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, he had the breath, Okay, he was able to wake up what the One West camps, and then the apostles at Great Millstone that you see today, and the men that what are laboring in the truth, waking us up, coming back to our heritage, right?
Got a precept on that. This is Hosea 8 and 8, and it reads, Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
Yep, there is no pleasure. Why? Because we're under the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 15 down to 68. Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 15 speaks about what we would have if we follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? And then if we didn't, okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 15 through 68 speaks about all the curses that would come upon us. That our woman would be over us. Okay, cursed as we come in, as when we go out. That's why our people get shot down in the street. Okay, you will be the borrower, not the lender. Okay, you will have what a fierce nation from a different continent what come over, a fierce countenance. Okay, that would come upon you. That eagle, which is Esau Edom. That's how you. That's one of the ways how you know who Esau Edom is that eagle. Okay, that's what on every time you have Pedo Joe or any of the presidents speak. Okay, what do you have? You have that eagle in the back. That's a symbolism of Esau Edom. Okay, and who he is, right?
Isaiah 11 and 12, just to finish up, and it reads, And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Beautiful. Yeah, because we are known as outcasts. We're known as what niggas, spics, and wetbacks, tontos. Okay, we're known as what the basically the scum of the earth. When we're actually what have a large heritage. Our Lord only sups with us. We're the only people that can be able to sin. Okay, we're those special people. Okay, and of those special people, there is a what elect. Okay, and He's raising us up to be what great men. Okay, through what exhortation, through rebuke. Okay, through what coming back to the Lord, following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. It says, Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field. Come to devour.
Because we look like the other nations. That's why this thing is what a spiritual thing. We're not looking for the blackest Hebrew Israelite. Okay, we're not looking for the most Latino, the most Chicano Israelite. Okay, we're not looking for the most.
Let's switch this around because it's the glare.
Okay, we're not looking for the someone that has a mohawk and things like that.
The glare from the light, bro.
Oh yeah,
Hey, Shalom, Maki, Yahabashi, Mashabakata, Watam.
yeah, we're looking for the elect. Okay, the Lord is actually going to draw them in. We're just out here to have this be a reasonable service to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Okay, and so again, we've been spread around the four corners of the earth. You can get Habakkuk 2 and 14. Okay, we've been spread around the four corners of the earth, but the Lord is drawing back His elect to be able to have the understanding, while the rest are going to be blinded. Right?
Got a quick precept going into that, starting with the scattering. This is Psalms 147 and 2. The Lord doth build up Jerusalem. He gathered together the outcasts of Israel.
Yep. So again, the outcasts of Israel, because we didn't know who we were, and we're outcasts in this world. Outcast, I think it means a foreigner. Okay, when you go into the word, yeah, we're foreign to this country. Our true heritage, our true language is not English. Okay, our true language is not Spanish or French. Okay, or any of these anytime when our oppressor put forth their language, our language is actually in the ancient Hebrew, and the Lord is coming back with that name by through spiritually through our elders being able to have those names. Okay, that is our heritage being passed down to us, and the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. Okay, and His only begotten Son, which is Yahweh Shai. He is the deliverer, He is the Savior. Those are the only names that actually have true meanings to them. Okay, these the fish Dagon and fish God and Jesus Christ and all these different Yahshua, Yahweh, all these are false names. The Lord only has one name, okay? And those names actually mean something. He is or He exists, Yahweh, okay, or Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer, He's the Savior. And who is He coming back for? What? The Hebrew Israelites. And of the Hebrew Israelites, it's only of the elect, right? You got that?
All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 14. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea.
Beautiful, yeah, because the waters covering the sea. Those waters are those living waters, okay? Because His word is like living waters. It can be able to move and go anywhere, okay? It can be able to give us the knowledge, wisdom, understanding,
Okay, because of what? The water is what? A seed. Okay, and that's able to what? Nourish us, to be able to give us life. Because again, we were with those dry bones. And you know, water is very important to the body. Our body is, just to say in a physical sense, our body is what? 75% water. Okay.
Jeremiah 17 and 13. O Israel, it's like it. Jeremiah 17 and 13. O Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the hope of Israel. All that forsake me shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of living waters.
Yep. They have forsaken the Lord, because you have 2/3 of our people that are going to be in what? That bad bitch spirit. They're going to be in that thug life, diva, gunner, Cardi B spirit, which is nothing but a trap and a snare. Can I get a Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 26? Baba Kasha? Yeah, so our people are what? In a dark state. They're in a lowest state. Because again, Isaiah 1 and 3, where it speaks about the whole head is sick. Okay, and also, you know, these animals, they'll know who their owner is, but our people don't even know. They don't consider that they could be of a rich heritage. That they're the lineage of Solomon, King Solomon, which was what? The most wisest man. That they're the lineage of David.
And how do we come back?
Yeah.
Through the scriptures, you know, the living water, you know.
Yep.
He that believeth on me, it's a scripture.
Meriwether
Belly shall flow rivers of living water. You know, having our heart washed with pure water. I get that real quick.
Yep.
Hebrews 10 and 22. And he reads, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water.
Yep. So again, going into what having our bodies washed with what these living waters, cleansed, Isop, okay, a healing agent, right, by this word. Because again, our conscience, the word heart goes into the word lahab, which means keeping your heart. If your heart's on doing wickedly, sleeping with another man's wife, selling drugs, being in that you know, thug life spirit, okay, that's what you're gonna be doing. But if you're in this truth, you're gonna be engaged in what? Psalms and hums. You're gonna be constantly engaging in this work, being in this profession, this business.
Walking in the spirit.
Yeah, walking in the spirit. Okay, you're not gonna be because again, it speaks about James 1 and 8 that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Okay, you can't be okay. I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work for 1 month, and then now I'm gonna come back to the truth in 1 month. No, you have to. It has to be a balance, because that is a false balance is abomination to the Lord.
The scriptures say, let every man be fully persuaded.
Yep. Yeah. You have to be fully persuaded in this. You know, you have to count the cost. Because again, we were just speaking earlier. You know, before camp. You know, all I did, you know, I was just meditating on it. Was a thought that came to my mind, right? Which was, you know, all I did was let the Lord. Well, the Lord jawed me into this truth. Okay, and ever since then, I've just been catching hell. Okay, but that's all part of the walk. Okay, because there's going to be, the Lord's going to give you, you know, salvation is going to give you time to be able to, you know, have peace, but also He's going to be testing you. Okay, 1 Peter 1 and 7.
That's a precept. We're talking about Sirach 2 and 1. And it is, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Yep. So how do you set your heart aright? Coming with what? A contrite heart. Coming with a humble spirit. Okay, coming, being what? Not wavering, whether the Lord can be able to have, it speaks about that in James 1, not wavering in the truth and the things that you're asking the Lord. So say you're not able to do lessons. Okay, so you ask the Lord for the increase to do lessons. You're not able to come on the highways and the byways. You ask the Lord to be able to put that increase. I remember before the Lord put me out here on the highways and the byways, I kept asking the Lord to be able to give me the courage or give me the strength to be able to come out here. I wanted to come out here to be able to have a reasonable service. And the Lord, you know, answered that prayer by having me out here. Okay, you should want to increase in the work.
This is where the action is.
Yep.
You know, in the ancient world, they didn't have the uniform.
Yep.
You know, to hear the word, you had to actually go out into the street corners. You know what I'm saying? Out into the highways and byways, out into the highways and hedges. That's mentioned in the book of Song of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. You know,
But also hurricanes.
Solomon was mentioning, you know, the men who his heart, those who his heart loves. If we paraphrasing, talking about the prophets, the men out there in the highways and byways.
Yep. It reiterates that in John 17 when the Lord sent the prayer out for His elect, because we have to be out here.
And those who would hear he sent the prayer out for the prophets, brother, and he sent a prayer out to those that would hear on the word.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because
The elect. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because again, to be out here,
Beautiful.
it really engages like the elements. You know what I mean? It might be hot, it might be cold, it might be humid, it might be dry, it might be raining, it might be snowing. Okay, and then what's standing upon that rock, which is that foundation, which is Yahweh Shai. And of course you have the people, the mockers and the scoffers, but then also you have the sincere people that come up and they inquire and they listen, they say thank you.
They come back.
You know,
like you had the Gadite,
And then
his,
the dad.
and his pops.
Yeah, yeah.
They hung around for a little while. You know what I'm saying? For
Yep.
a month, they would come out here.
Yep.
Even in the freezing cold, you know, they were out here.
Yep. Yeah, come out here because we would come out here about 8 o'clock, and they would be out here again. Older Jake, you know what I mean, and then his I don't know if it was his relative or whatever. They would come out here. Yeah, they would come out here they would listen for like about an hour, and the whole point is that the being made that spectacle. So when people ask questions, we're able to inquire, because a lot of the times brothers that are on the chat, they usually already know they're Israelites. You know what I mean? It's not just a random thing like, oh, I found this channel. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily. That's not. I mean, no, nothing's random. You know.
If they have it, if they're on the chat, they've made their channel public and they've signed in.
Yeah.
Created a user profile.
They're fully persuaded in their mind. They've counted the cost, and now they're just engaging because 2 or 3 are here. What the Lord's in the midst, roughly paraphrasing that. Okay, because this is all about building that body. Because the Lord is what raising up men. Did you have that Wisdom of Solomon? Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 26, and it's all about the Lord is what nourishing us by having the brothers.
Real quick.
Okay, you got it.
Isaiah 44 and 3, and it reads, "For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty." We're mentioning, the rivers of water, the fountains of living waters, pure, clean water.
Yep.
Today.
Yeah, the pure, clean water. Okay, because this word is what pure. It speaks about that, I think, in Proverbs.
Yep.
Okay, this is a pure cleansing. This is where you can be able to, where the Lord Yahweh Shai has sacrificed that body, his body, sacrificed his body and blood for us to be able to have that ransom, for us to be able to even come back, for us to be able to have that seal open up. Okay, he opened the seal of the book.
I got that
right?
for you. This is Psalms 12 and 6. And it reads, "The words of Yahweh, Ma'ashem Yahushai, are pure words, as
Beautiful.
silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times."
Yep, purified 7 times, which means what? A complete number of times. Okay, that's why you have all these different denomination groups. They always take a bite out of the Bible. Okay, they're always trying to,
They ear hustle the apostles and elders.
Yep.
They ear hustle us,
Yep. And then they'll take one little thing, but then they'll make it worldly. Because this world is all about making money.
They'll take one thing and then they'll add it to their doctrine to gain followers,
Yep.
to gain subscribers,
Yep.
or to act like they're getting one up on the Hebrew Israelites.
Yep. And that's what the Jesuits do. The Jesuits do that. They'll go in, they'll infiltrate a so-called group, and then they'll come in with their other doctrine, and they divide and conquer. That's Esau Edom. Okay, that's his whole thing, is divide and conquer. Okay, and that's what he's trying to do, is break the bands asunder.
He's a culture vulture. He don't have any style of his own. He don't have any soul of his
Yeah,
own. So
yeah.
He goes around the earth, stealing,
Yeah.
robbing, killing, so
Yep.
on and so forth.
Okay.
This is Isaiah 44 and 3. "For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground," the dry bones.
Okay,
Ezekiel 37.
exactly. And is that speaking about physical water? No, it's speaking about spiritual water, that cleansing. Okay.
"I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourses." This is the point. "One shall say that I am Yahweh, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto Yahweh, and surname himself by the name of Israel." That's what brothers do when they have the channel. They'll call themselves like Shema, Gasha, Allah,
Yeah.
Hashemah, different Hebrew names,
Yep.
Of course, you got the elders and apostles, they have their own name, and what do? When you go onto YouTube, you hit the subscribe button.
Yep.
You subscribe onto the teachings of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai.
And when you think about it, you have the channels, right? The channels, which is the water that goes through, and a channel is usually a narrow gate, a narrow water.
And the channels are constantly flowing.
Yep, constantly flowing.
Constantly flowing.
Okay, constantly flowing, and that's what we should be doing, is constantly flowing in this truth, whether our ups, our downs, okay, and whatever that it is, we pray for that balance, whatever that we need, because the Lord is gonna what? He's constantly gonna nourish us. Get that, brother?
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 16:26. Says that thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourish man, but that is thy word, which preserveth them that put their trust in thee.
And that's what we're out here doing. We're putting our trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord that He will be able to protect us, okay, in the time of the time of trouble, because we're in the time of Jacob's trouble right now, but it's going to increase. You're seeing what they're weaponizing the food. They're knocking down all the food plants, over 130 plants. Okay, they're poisoning the water with mercury. They've already been doing it with fluoride, but now they're putting mercury in it. Okay, you have these droughts. Okay, then you also have floods.
Yeah, Moab, Utah, Mississippi, and then Dallas. They all got flooded out within the past like 24 hours.
Yep.
24 to 48 hours.
And that's all the Lord, whether it's Esau Edom doing it with his heart machine, with his 5G or 6G, that's ultimately Yahweh Shema Shai bringing forth the judgment. Okay, he's not prolonging his word anymore. Ezekiel 12:28. Okay, he's bringing it forth. He's bringing forth what? The judgment. Because Yahweh Shema Shai, Psalms 9:16.
The days are at hand, the effect of every vision.
Yeah, because the Lord is bringing it forth. Okay, and we should be we should be happy, rejoicing. Okay, rejoice ye heavens, because we know that this devil has but a short time. So he has to come down with that great rain. He has to come down with all these prophecies have to happen. Okay, for the kingdom to be able to come, we have to go through the fight. You know, we were talking about Kobe. You know what I mean? Practice, but like all the stuff you endure before even the actual game. Because it was a story about Kobe that I saw today actually, and he was running down the street and he was actually barefoot, right? And it was one of his teammates, and he was barefoot and he was just running. And then he said, "Is that you?" And then he said, "Yeah, it's me." He's like, "Oh, I'm just practicing." So then he got to the camp, or got to not the camp, but the actual practice. And then Kobe already worked out that day. So he was already there. Plus he jogged there and with no shoes. Now, whether the story is true or not, it's just the whole point is the things that you do on your off time, that's what the Lord actually sees. And then when you come out here, you're able to perform. Okay, perform. You're supposed to be performing at a high level. Okay?
Also, the knowledge that we get preps us for Jacob's trouble, so we're not bugged out.
Yeah.
You know, we see people, dying by the thousands. We see people turning on each other, family members, looking to turn us in, so on and so forth. We may see our face on the billboard poster.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Be on the run. Well, the scriptures say we're going to have to go through all those things, the different lots with different people, man. So we're comforted now knowing that those things are set to happen. So when it happens, as far as the game time situation, we're not surprised. We're not flabbergasted. We're not, oh man, losing our mind.
Yeah, he didn't tell us this.
Pulling our hair out of our heads.
The Lord wrote out the
Starting with
playbook.
our elders and apostles, they've been preparing us for these times, man.
Yep.
By giving us the warning.
Because that's what you're supposed to do is what? Give our people warning. Ezekiel 3:17. Okay? Warn my people with what my mouth, right?
This is Revelation 12:12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." And the heavens, that's symbolic of the elect, because we're those will be of that number. We're the only ones that are being comforted right now. We're the only ones rejoicing. We see these people. There's a page that I follow on Instagram called Cyborg Pay, where it shows you people paying for stuff with the MOT to the beat.
Okay,
they'll wave their hand, they'll go up to them, and they'll have they showed the building up to the point where people were paying with Amazon Palm Pay, beginning of the year, and now you have people actually paying at grocery stores in the UK and so on and so forth, Sweden, with
China,
with the actual MOTV.
Yep. Because China, real quick, China, they're paying with their forehead.
At these things.
Yeah, they're paying with their forehead. Yep.
And starting with our elders and apostles, they've been giving us the warning for years and years and years, and now these things are coming to pass. We're rejoicing, and these other congregations, they're going to have to start explaining what it is that these people are seeing as far as people paying with their hand and why they didn't give warning. Yep. Revelation 12:12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, the elect," the only ones that are rejoicing, the hopeful elect, "and ye that dwell in them," what? Dwell in this truth. "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you, having great wrath, because you know it, that he hath but a short time." And that's talking about the spiritual counterparts of the physical counterparts, like of the spiritual demon Satan. Satan in the flesh, the Edomite, starting with the wicked elite. These guys,
Yeah, these are who we're supposed to be exposing at everything that they do. They bring out the device, okay? We bring out the lesson, okay? We bring out the lesson and we expose them with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding that the Lord has given us. We don't hide our this money in a napkin. Okay, it's not meant to be in a napkin. It's meant to shine upon the whole world, letting everyone know. First of all, our people, letting them know about what this devil is doing, but also letting these other heathen nations know that we're woken up. Okay, and they heard that speech and they were afraid.
Also letting them know the good news.
Yeah.
The good news is the prison sentence is almost up.
Yep.
You know? Salvation is right around the corner. You know?
Don't have to cry no more.
Rulership. You know, dominion. You know?
This is
sovereignty.
You know, Job 20 and 5, and then down to about 8.
Do you want to go look for?
All right, this is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 5. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short. Oh, okay, Salaki. All right, Job 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment?
Yep. And if you go into that word hypocrite in the Strong's, it goes, one of the definitions is godless, ungodly. It's godless, better yet.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, we went
into Job 9:24. One of the definitions for wicked is ungodly. You know?
Yeah, because
that's how you can tie everything together. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Esau Edom is what? The ungodly. He said, a fool said in his heart, there is no God. Because what is he pushing forth? Who is his God? Science. Okay? Science, which means to know. And they don't know what science does. All they know that it pushes forth hell, which is a condition played out on earth, and as they both lead to what? Death. Because if you're not coming with the true doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shai, you're not going to be able to have the victory over death. Right? Because Yahweh Shai is known as the victory. Known as victory. Right?
This is Revelation 18:23.
Keep
And it reads, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And if you go into that word sorcery, it means pharmakia. You know, sorcery, witchcraft, potions, poison.
Yep.
You know? And what's the symbol of the medical industry? You know, caduceus, you know what I'm saying? Asclepius, you know, with two serpents swimming around what looks like to be a sword, but if you take a deeper needle, if you take a deeper look, it actually looks like an N-E-E-D-L-E. And that's also the sign of the World Health Organization. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because see, that's how it is.
With the globe and two wings. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And what is that on? That's on all the hospitals. Yep. That's on all the ambulances. Okay. And that was all a plot for what that was thought of by what Esau Edom, the Rockefellers. Okay. When Adam Weishaupt, which was a Freemason, okay, he's on the back of the dollar bill, the New World Order, May 1st, 1776. Okay, when they were bringing forth what the Novus Ordo Seclorum. Okay, they had a plan that they were going to be able to control the school system, that they would control what the money system, okay, and they would come with what these false philosophies, okay, and they would have what? Free labor. What is the free labor? That's Jake. Okay, the blood, sweat, and tears of Jake. Okay, the lies, the deception, you know, coming, setting our people up, these bullpit pimps, okay, like Martin Lucifer King. Okay, Malcolm X, these Jesse Jackass, Al Sharptongue, all these devils that have led our people astray. Because what do? They sit there with their tie on and their bow tie and with their butt naked face, right? And then they then they push out lies and deception. Okay, they don't actually tell you the truth. Okay, and the true men of the Lord are going to be exposing Esau Edom, which is this white man of today, exposing him for all his wickedness and all parts that he's working in. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 8. Probably sure.
Real quick, since you mentioned Martin Luther King, this is Deuteronomy 13:3. I'll get one. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer or dreams. I'm gonna start again from the top. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass whereof he spake of unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, and that's what Martin Luther King was saying. Let us go after Cesare Borgia.
Yeah, and who did Martin Luther King hang out with? The Rockefellers. If you look up a picture,
Rothschilds.
or the Rothschilds. Okay, which is the English or the American version of I think of them, which goes back to what basically Red Shield.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think the Rockefellers are American, right, or
Yeah.
so-called American, and the Rothschilds go back to what
Germany.
UK, Germany, yeah,
England,
yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
and which ultimately,
Rothschild, I think that's German for Red Shield.
yeah,
Rothschild, you know what I'm saying? Rothschild.
yep,
But
which,
they're in the UK.
yep,
Because if you look them up, it says the Rockefeller family of England.
yeah,
You know what I'm
cunt.
saying?
Which is all, and what we're
The
trying to.
Rothschild family of England. That's
Yep,
right.
and what we're trying to say is these are all Edomites, okay? Because these are the ones that bring forth their legislation. They're the ones that bring forth their propaganda. They're the ones that are bringing forth war, okay?
Deuteronomy 13:2, and it reads, "And the sign or the wonder shall come, and the sign of the wonder come to pass, where he spake unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai proveth you, to know whether you love the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, your power, with all your heart and with all your soul."
Okay. Yeah, so again, that's speaking about Martin Luther King. What he had a dream.
Real quick,
Okay.
Deuteronomy 13:5, "And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage," Montezarian, to thrust thee out of the way, which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua thy power commanded thee to walk in, the law, statutes, and commandments. So shalt thou put away evil from the midst of thee.
Yep. And what was he trying to do? He wanted, we're all little boys, all little white boys and girls.
Yeah.
black and white can be able to chill. No. Okay, the Lord doesn't want that. The Lord said that you are a special people. You are separated from these people. He gave the law section, Deuteronomy 4:6, Deuteronomy 7:6, where it says,
Holy people.
yep, we are holy
Separate.
people, separate. We're not,
Set apart.
you know, when we're in our truest state, when we're with our true power, okay, we actually have law, statutes, and commandments that we're supposed to follow. We're not supposed to eat a pig, a bat, a rat. We're not supposed to eat these things because they're
He was talking
unsanitary.
about, the kingdom, basically, and from a Christian standpoint, where all nations are going to be going together. That's not according to Scripture. There's no two set rulers going to be on the throne as far as the throne of David. You know, it's going to be Yahweh Shai, David. You know, the 144,000, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
nation
12
of
gates.
The nation of Israel in rulership. It's not going to be a joint rulership where other nations are going to rule. You know, it says that in Daniel 2:44, "And the kingdom shall not be left to other people."
Yep.
And Martin Luther King was feeding our people a false dream, a false narrative.
Yep. And he was also known as a man on man.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was also a mud chaser, man.
Yep.
So you got Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, and verse 8.
Yeah.
It says, "Therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him."
Yep. And what is the unrighteous thing that he's pushing right now? That device, that charagma. Okay, because the Lord told you not to take that charagma, which is a graven image in your forehead or in your hand. They want to implement a device under your skin so they can be able to track you through their smart cities, through their technology. Okay, and they want to be able to have central banking digital currency, right? Which is governed by these different blockchains, which is going to be centralized. Which centralized means a new world order, which means all these nations are conspiring together, which links right into Revelation 13 and 16. Which this is physical. Okay, it goes into your hand. This goes into your hand, right? Which is called a charagma. Okay. And then it goes into what they use a karax, which is the instrument of a churro. It's the instrument to be able to put that into you, okay? And then it's what it has intelligence on it, graphos, okay? Which means what? Your social credit system, okay? Your green card, your driver's license, who you talk to, your carbon footprint, your ESG, okay?
Your health records,
Yep.
your ability to travel or not.
Yep.
Your social media profile score, just like your social credit score. You know what I'm saying? Whether you can get on the internet or not.
Yep.
You know.
And you're seeing that they're doing a diligent search over there in China, because China has where if you said anything, this is another thing too, the attack on free speech. There was a guy, he said that he said something about the government, or no, he lost a court case, right? And so now he can't ride the train anymore. You know what I mean? Just because he lost the court case, I don't know what
Also,
the court
people
case
who
was,
were,
but
protesting the banks, all those people, their bank accounts got shut off because they were out there protesting before. And now all those people's status on the China 19 app is all red now.
Yep.
And what did they do next? They sent tanks into the streets to people to keep people away from drawing money out of their savings.
Yep.
To keep money to keep them from trying to go to the bank.
Which
You
is
know what I'm
which is
to keep them from trying to protest the bank as well.
yep. Yes, you will.
Which is a sign of what's to come to Babylon the Great.
Beautiful. Because you will own nothing and be happy. Okay, they want full out control. And how do they control you? They know they control you by your food, okay, by your money. And that's what it speaks about. Revelation 13 and 16, buying and selling. Okay, they're pushing forth ungodly things because the Lord says, if you take that, what you will have a grievous sore. And when you go into that word sore, it goes into what? A cancer or an ulcer. Okay, and what you will have, Sirach 28, it speaks about you will have no rest day or night. Why? Because it has a tracking device. Okay, and they're gonna have these robots, these robot dogs or robot whatever they are, whatever how they look, but they're robots that are gonna be able to sense what you have, and they're gonna know who you are by what? Those things that you have inside of you. Okay.
This is Isaiah 36 and 6, real quick, and it reads, "Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. It is so, Pharaoh king of Egypt, to all that trust in him."
Yeah, the broken reed. What do they do? They help in vain. Okay. Anytime it says with Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy, for like an iron is rusted, so is his wickedness. Sirach 14 and 7, where it speaks about if he doeth good, he do it unwillingly. At last he will declare his wickedness. Because again, what is he created to do? He was created to what? Dishonor. Romans 9 speaks about that. He was created to dishonor. So he's not going to go outside of his lane. Yahweh Shemashai is not going to have him go outside of his lane, and now he's a good guy. Okay, anything that smooth talk, that jive talk, okay, he's always speaking with a double tongue because his ultimate goal is to have a dagger, on the other end of his words, right? Got some more on that. The Wisdom of Solomon 9.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, "For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly."
If you go into that word inquisition, it means heavy question, a courtroom-like setting question, investigation.
Yep. And right now, we're sitting here. We're saying, hey, where were you? And what was that? 1492. Okay, where this yoke was around this brother's neck. Okay, where were you when these gators, when you were feeding our babies to gators? Where were you when Emmett Till got beaten? Okay, and that's what we're doing is exposing the atrocities that happened to our people. Now we know that these are the curses that will fall upon our people. But again, who's the one that gained out of that? Who profited out of all these cheap labor? Not cheap labor. Out of not feeding anybody, not Slakia. Who profited out of not paying anybody? Out of slavery. Okay, Esau, Edom, right? They profited, and these other heathen nations, they profited. Because Psalms 83 speaks about what that crafty counsel, okay, that consulted against what thy hidden ones, which are what the Hebrew Israelites, right? Can you go to the last chapter on that, or last verse on that, on Wisdom of Solomon 1?
All right, Wisdom of Solomon 1 verse 16 says, "But ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it."
Come on. Yeah, so who are they making their friend? The Shaitan, okay? Their wickedness, their blood, okay? And who is our friend? Because Yahweh only dwells with those that have wisdom. Okay, Yahweh Shemashai, or Slakia, wisdom is a friend of wisdom. Slakia, wisdom is a friend of Yahweh Shemashai. Okay, a friend of the prophets. Slakia, there we go. Is a friend of the prophets. Okay, and their wisdom is not wisdom at all. It's ultimately for their judgment, right? And they're gonna be punished for all the things that they have done. Because again, going back to Cain, killing his brother Abel, he was never punished. He's a vagabond fugitive, running to and fro, seeking who he may devour, right?
This is Sirach 19 and 22, and it reads, "The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom." We'll read again from the top. "The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence."
Yep. So again, anything they do is it pushes forth a barren energy, which means no life. Okay, everything they push, man on man, that's no life. Woman on woman, that's no life. Transformer mentality, that's no life. Okay, if you're not coming in the name, or if you're not coming by this word, okay, that's the only way you can be able to survive the set perils that are about to happen in this place. Because the rest, all the people, they're in the immersed spirit. Okay, they don't have that hedge, they don't have that covering, so they're gonna get caught up when Esau Edom comes in like a flood. They're gonna go down to the Egyptian for help. Okay, the modern day Egyptian, which is Babylon the Great, right?
This is 2nd Ezra 9 and 6. I'm gonna go down to 8, and it reads, "Even so, the times also the highest." I'm gonna start with 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end. We're in the end times right now. You want to get Ezekiel 7 real quick, where it says an end has come. Ezekiel 7 and 2, and then down to 5 as well.
That whole chapter.
Yep. This is second Ezra 9 and 5, and it reads, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so, the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs." And we're starting to see those signs, the prophecies in full motion. You know, earthquakes in diverse places, uprisings of the people, you know, them pushing the MOTB infrastructure before they actually mandate it. You know, they're advertising Wallet More and Neuralink. You see the Egyptians ready to wage war against the Egyptians. There's a news article that went out last month on the 24th that says you have 1/3 of Americans ready to take up arms against the government. And you also have them performing these secret military drills where military agents are talking to each other, saying they're basically taking up to come at us, man. You know what I'm saying? They're exposing their own selves. You know what I'm saying? And also at the same time, the gathering, which is an end time prophecy. You know, the valley of the dry bones, waking up through this word.
Because again, who's out here on the highways and the byways proclaiming Yahweh Shem Shai, proclaiming that they're the Hebrew Israelites, sitting on the highways and the byways? Who's doing that? Okay, you're not seeing these other nations doing it, talking about prophecy.
Those people over there in Israel aren't doing it.
Yep.
They're missing 11 other tribes. They're missing the 12 tribe sign. They're missing the spirit of prophecy. They're missing the Lord. They're missing King David. The law, statutes, and commandments aren't being implemented throughout the whole world. Yep. People aren't going to the nation of Israel to learn of their ways. They're condemning them, man. They're calling them the wicked, you know, the Illuminati, the synagogue of Satan. Other countries are looking to take up arms and ready to bomb Israel, man. But the scripture said the nations will learn war no more. So the story doesn't add up with those people over there and holding that.
Real quick, I want to back you up on something that you were saying as far as the end times, one of the signs of the end times. So this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 24. "At that time, friends shall fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, in 3 hours they shall not run." Okay, so you're seeing these low-level Edomites. Okay, what are they doing? They're gearing up arms. The brother just said they're gearing up arms to what? Come against the government, right? Sedition, a revolt against the government. That's what Trump is all about. Okay, because what is he pushing? Gather up guns. Let's fight for our country. You know what I mean? Make America great again, right? And then you have what? The springs of the fountains shall stand still. What are they doing? They're telling you not to run your water. I know over here in California, they're telling you not to run your water at a certain point in time. Okay, what are they saying? Lake Mead, which is where Southern California gets a lot of their water, is dried up. You have the Rio Grande dried up. You have a major prophecy, which is Euphrates will be dried up. And that's that Euphrates being dried up. That's so...
Dam is almost dried up as well. You know,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's very low, put it like that. You know
yep.
what I'm saying?
And that Euphrates is a sign of where these these other nations that are gathered together for World War III can be able to just go right through. Okay, all these are the signs of the end times. Okay,
real quick.
No, you got it. No, bring
Isaiah
it back.
19 and Isaiah 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter.
Yeah.
Get the book shall be opened before the firmament. I think that's the 20th verse. Because that's what's happening as well as all these other prophecies happening. The books are open in the firmament.
Yeah. Let me start from it.
Yeah.
Got you.
Men out here preaching and prophesying about the kingdom, the good news, and telling Esau Edom his ways to his face through what? Through the unicorn on the highways and byways.
Okay.
With the books, the law, and the testimony, you know, and the prophets, as far as the whole world open before the firmament.
Yep.
You know.
Let me. So I'll bring that out. This is. I'm going to start from 18 because this is the whole thing. 2nd Ezra 6 and 18. The point is in 20. It says, and he said, behold. So 2nd Ezra 6 and 18. And he said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
Yep.
Okay. So how does? Oh, yeah, bring that.
Yeah, and the Lord's visiting this place. That's also mentioned in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. 2nd Ezra 9 and 4, and it reads, I'm gonna start with, 3. Second.
That whole
it's
chapter.
the whole thing.
Just start at the top.
2nd Ezra 9 and 1, and it reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently, through watching the prophecies, through staying upon your watch. And he reads, then he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. What? The prophecies. You know, the checklist in Matthew the 24th chapter. The checklist is in Luke the 21st chapter. 2nd Ezra the 9th chapter. And other prophecies. You know.
This is the same thing reiterated in 2nd Ezra 6 to show you that the Apocrypha is part of the book, because Yahawashi was quoting the Apocrypha.
Yep.
Okay.
He also quoted the Apocrypha in Luke 13 and 34. He quoted 2nd Ezra 1 and 30. You know, and also 33, where it says, thou killest and stonest the prophets.
Yep.
Yep. This is 2nd Ezra 9 and 2, and it reads, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the highest spake of those things for the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And how did he speak of those things? Through the prophets. Real quick, Luke 1 and 70. Real quick.
And the Lord is what known by his judgment.
Yep.
Okay, that's what he's coming to do, is what execute his judgment,
Psalms
what
9
through
and
this
16.
word. Let's get this real quick. Psalms 9 and 16. Yeah. The Lord Yahawashi is known by his judgment, which he executed. The wicked is snared, and the worker of their own hands.
Yep.
Okay.
He's going to be snaring the work of his own hands, because at the end of the movie, he's going to be the one in handcuffs. And he's trying to destroy us, but at the end of the movie, he's going to be the one in slavery, and after 1,000 years, he's going to be destroyed, pursuant to many prophecies. Is that a rabbit? That's a dog. That's a chihuahua.
Yeah,
And real quick, this is Psalm 7 and let's see. No, keep going, brother.
I know what you're looking for. 7 and 9.
That's 7 and 9? Okay, come on. Yeah, right here. Oh, yeah, right here. So, Psalm 7 and 9. Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just, for the righteous of Yahweh tries his hearts and reigns.
Yep. Want to get the last 2 verses where it talks about his evil shall return upon his fate? I think it's 16.
Yeah, thou made ready.
Speaking of that, you see the Jake right there?
What was it?
The Jake with the 2 horns that usually be at camp on Sunday? You see him right there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's still same spirit. He's just wearing when he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Psalm 7 and 16.
His 15.
Okay, come. He made a pit.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Psalms.
also reiterated in the Apocrypha.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Sirach.
He that diggeth the pitch, he that rolleth the stone down, it shall return upon thee, roughly paraphrasing.
I can get that after.
Sirach 27.
Yep. 27 at the end.
At the end,
Yep. Psalm 7 and 15. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he had made.
Yep. His wickedness shall return upon his own fate, the crown of his head.
I got you.
The ICBM missiles are going to hit him as he's looking up. And the only ones who are actually going to be able to survive are those in the deep underground military bunkers. For what? For slavery.
It says, his mischief shall return upon his own head,
Yep.
and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate.
Yep. Pate that goes into the crown of the head, the top of the head.
I will praise Yahweh Shemashai according to his righteousness, and I will sing praise to the name of Yahweh Shemashai, the Most High.
Yep. And to take it one step further, their wickedness is going to return upon them, the top of the head of Esau Edom.
Yep.
The Amalekites and the wicked elite 13 banking families that run this world.
Yeah,
You know?
with the Genesis 3:15.
Yep.
I will bruise thy head. You know what I mean? So his head's going to be bruised. He's going to be what? Be knocked down. Okay? Because ours was what? A heel. Ours was what? Temporary, right?
So thyself is the eagle.
Yep.
Bring me down.
Done.
I will make thee a burnt mountain. This is 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, is the point I was trying to get. Other point, and it reads 2nd Ezra 9 and 6. I'm gonna get 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs, the prophecies, which we're starting to see roll in full motion.
Yep. And that word, real quick, that word manifest means obvious. It's obvious who the man of sin is. Okay. It's obvious that they're trying to what? Implement some. It's obvious that the paper dollar is gone.
They're trying to crown their enterprise.
Yep. And they're trying to bring in. You have simple Jake, even though this is a new world order. You know, Simple Jake knows about the device,
teaching
the device.
And
Okay.
you got guys talking about fringe up. You know, fringe warriors we were calling them before camp.
Fringe up.
The fringe warriors can't, you know, live by the fringe, die by the fringe, the law. But you ask them Revelation 13 and 16, they'll tell you it's an embargo. When everything that Esau Edom was pushing, it should add up to what you guys are pushing. You should be able to say, okay, well, that's it right there.
Yep.
But what we teach, we can say, okay, that's it right there. This is the setup for it. This is how they're going to do it. Because through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, starting with our elders and apostles, we have the truth, man. Because if what you guys are pushing is true, you should be able to point out in the world what everything happening right now, all these end time prophecies, and to be able to come up with the any cause it for your breakdown. But you can't come up with the any cause it. Any cause it, that word cause it needs to fail, which means to set up, to get ready, to make ready, to be the author of. They're not setting up, you know, John 3 and 16 for you to bow down to. Cesare Borgia.
Yeah,
a picture of your white concubine in your phone.
You
can't buy or they're not setting up a system where you can buy and sell with that, man. Or an embargo of philosophies. We've all been into Christianity.
Yep.
So if it's an embargo of philosophies, anybody who was a gangbanger for the truth, you should automatically be condemned as far as what you guys are teaching.
Yep.
You know, and once again, one of the camps that teaches that is WFI. And didn't their leader get arrested for not agreeing with thy adversary quickly? Well, didn't the Lord tell us to agree with thy adversary quickly? Isn't that a wicked philosophy?
Yep.
So technically,
He should be what, killed?
according to your understanding, that's a wicked philosophy.
Yeah.
You're disregarding what the Lord says. Doesn't he have the MOTB then?
Yep.
See, it doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't add up. It's easy to confound that doctrine, especially with all that's going on in the end times, which we're in right now, what we're seeing in the world. It's easy to confound that argument. To confound that argument, buddy. It's like it. But what we teach, starting with our elders and apostles, we can actually point out step by step of what's happening and go into the scriptures and actually go into the world and show you a live example.
Yep.
Just type in Walletmore.
Yeah, because they're not setting up you know, different.
Type in biometric IDs and go to news and see how many countries are implementing biometric IDs.
Or a white woman. They got just a bunch of white women stations. You know, like here you can have this white woman. Right here. You know what I mean? You can have it, you know, carried in the store. Amazon's not setting up a bunch of white women.
Amazon's not setting up. Are you an Israelite conversations? They're not setting up pictures of you to bow down to Cesare Borgia.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
What you guys are teaching, man, it's so easy to confound. You guys are gonna have to give answers for that, man.
Yep.
You know, and we're not, you know, out here to pick on you guys, but at the same time, hey, we gotta defend the gospel, and what you guys are teaching aren't adding up, man.
Yeah, that's not correct.
Yeah. And your followers just start to see it.
And ultimately, that's Romans 11, where it speaks about I have given them slumber eyes, and then you know, King David, that's reiterated in Psalm 69, 20. Yeah, that's a trap and a snare, because now the Lord, 1 Peter 4 and 17, the Lord brought you in, so you know you're an Israelite. You got your fringe gang and all that stuff, but again, you don't have the 100% truth. So again, that would be a red flag of you're not of what the elect. Okay, and we're praying that we're of the hopeful elect. Right? We're praying that we're able to endure to the end, that we don't have that bug out spirit. Okay, that we're coming with what the true doctrine, because the Lord came with his doctrine was, we read that earlier, is pure. Okay, which means what? It's not going to be able to be penetrated with all this different trash, because what the Lord is not the author of confusion. Okay.
Real quick, let me finish this up. This is 2nd Ezra 9.
Shalom, Akim.
Hey, shalom. This is 2nd Ezra 9 and 7. And it reads, and everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works by faith,
Yep.
whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yep. Separated. Okay. Sanctified means what? Separated. And before I knew you before you were formed in the womb. The Lord already had the instruction of who you were going to be. Esau was going to be the devil. Okay, the tabernacle of David was going to be the righteous. Okay, this was already set up, right? And the order was Yahweh gave the decree to Yahawashi. Yahawashi followed the order. Okay, and then he formed his team, which is the Alahayim. Okay, the powers, right?
He said after the order of Melchizedek.
Yep.
Which was established in the heavens before the world began.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is Sirach 36 and 14, and it reads, fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. give testimony unto those thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful.
Because again,
Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. You know, and the tongue of the elect is not going to be any guile as far as in their spirit. You know, they're going to be speaking pure doctrine. You know, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshai.
then you shall know a prophet have been among you. Okay, because that's how you're able to know that what a true prophet is, by what the things that are happening. Okay, which would be what the head apostles at Great Millstone. Yeah, what are they speaking about? They were speaking about this 20 years ago, that they were going to come with what these Rec City 4, these internment camps, that they were going to come down with the Charagma. They had that breakdown back then. The Lord gave them that understanding, and now what? It's being manifest. It's being obvious that those that we believe that those are what men of the Lord. Okay, and they're what? Why? Because they have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Okay, we follow the Lamb wherever they go, wherever He goes, and working out what our own salvation with what fear and trembling. So real quick, I want to look up this definition because you said parallel, right? To be able to be saved out of the parallels, right?
Evil times.
Yep.
You know, bad times.
Yep. Serious and immediate danger. Okay. Jeopardy, risk, hazard, uncertainty. Okay. That goes into Luke 21 and 25. A perplexity. Okay. When you go into that word perplexity, it goes into what you don't know if you don't have a lack of what resources, a lack of food, a lack of water, or a lack of what shelter. Okay. Exposed to danger, threatened. And so what's the danger? When you don't have no food. Okay. What's danger? When you don't have no water. What's a danger when Esau Edom has his super soldiers and his drones, okay, and then you also have what the people that took what the hot sauce, those jump shots, and now they done turn up the frequency, and now they're doing the Thriller, okay, they're doing the Michael Jackson, right? A bunch of Thriller, you know, and then because the movie how you know, and you have to Apostle Gabar always says that you have to visualize what it's going to be, and when Jacob's trouble is at its peak, okay, you have to visualize, you know, the Purge mixed with Jumanji, mixed with War of the Worlds, okay, and the people looking like what Thriller, the Thriller video, okay, because it's not going to be a good time. You're not going to have these women walking around. They're going to wish that they're going to wish they were covered up in that day, because again, we know this place is lawless. But it's really going to be because there's going to be no cops. There's going to be no cops. And just like for Jake, okay, so Jake that's out there that thinks that the white man is a good guy, they're going to see that these Edomites don't give a fuck about you. These Edomites are going to be strapped up. They're going to have all their artillery on, okay, and they're going to be hunting down Jake, okay, because what is Esau going to do? He's going to frameth mischief on our people. He's already saying, you know what? Fauci, he said that, hey, we need to have Jake, you know, go get the jump shot. He came back out, even though he already said that doesn't, you know what I mean? It's not good.
Also, you have Fauci announcing he's going to retire or step down in December, the same time when they're set to implement the Biden bucks.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Executive Order 14067. Okay. Again, the executive order that was signed on March 9th by Pedo Joe. And then December 13th, they're going to be rolling it out, okay? Which is
shoulder smelling Joe Biden.
Yep.
Pedo Joe.
Yep. Butthead Joe. You know what I mean? Crack. Sounds like crack.
Joe Dirty.
Joe Dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's implementing, and he said that he was going to do that back then when he was talking to the judge,
Yep.
Judge Roberts. That was implemented in the 90s.
Yep.
Okay, that he said you will rule on that.
And he ruled on that when Obama. Well, it's like when Obama signed the NDAA.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And then also, what did Obama do? He passed a legislation to be able to have these different medias, these different outlets, what lie to you, and that's what through propaganda, which is the same thing they're doing over there in, you know, with the war over there in Russia and Ukraine.
Which is just an extension of Operation Mockingbird.
Yep.
You know.
And what are they trying to come after? People, another operation, Project Megiddo. Okay, which they came out on the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, that they're coming after faith-based groups. Okay, that's all we have is faith. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. This is all about faith. You know what I mean? We don't have, you know what I mean? There's nothing, but through the brothers, we're able to see that there is a great awakening. Okay, because the brothers are starting to learn different customs. You know, learning, you know, to rehearse the righteous acts, Judges 5 and 11. Okay, coming back to our Lord, learning the true name in the ancient Hebrew, maybe even learning some Hebrew. Okay, come again, eating, not eating these unclean delicacies that this world has brought forth. The pig, the catfish, the shrimp, the lobsters, the crab. All these different things are abomination to Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, and we're all coming back to Yahweh Shem Shai. So this is going back to it, 2nd Ezra 6:18, and he said, "Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and I will begin to make an inquisition." Again, that word inquisition. So everyone right now is on trial. Okay, they're on trial for what? Either good and evil. That black horse is being sent out. That has that balance scale that has what? Judging righteousness and judging wickedness. Okay.
Real quick, because you mentioned Esau, Edom coming in, Jacob's trouble.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to get Jeremiah 30:6-7. This is Isaiah 41, and I'm gonna start with 10. And the header reads, "Israel is chosen by the Most High." And in this eon, this age, this lifetime, it's the elect, who are chosen by Yahweh Shem Shai. Through the elect sacrifice, starting with the prophets, the whole nation of Israel is going to benefit. I'm gonna start with 8, Isaiah 41:8, and it reads, "But thou Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen," Jacob's name was there changed to Israel, "the seed of Abraham, my friend," the offspring, the progeny, Isaiah 41:9, "Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth and called thee from the children for Slakia. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away." Talking to the elect. "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. I will uphold thee with thy right hand of my righteousness." Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 41:11, "Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded." You shall be not ashamed nor confounded,
Yep.
world without end. Isaiah 45:17.
Because what do? They mocked and scoffed the prophets. They misused the prophets.
Yep.
Okay, because that's what you see out here. You had two Moes, two Transformers, looking like LeBron and Kobe.
Yeah,
Okay,
real
and then they have something to say. Okay, meanwhile they have heavy demons on them, and it's all because of what Esau Edom.
Yep,
Okay,
one dude got lip eyeliner on. One dude got the
oh, even when we went to the
Starbucks, dude had the umbrellas on. And they strolling by here with the skateboard, looking like a living color.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Men on films and shit, man.
Damon Wayans.
That's what we have to witness, and that's what we have to witness, and
David Allegreer.
we have to walk through Babylon and witness all this wickedness and abomination, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is all because a wicked ruler is in power.
Yep.
Okay, and that's all about what confounding and condemning this world. Because again, that's not they're not even happy. You know what I mean? And their pride, they're not happy.
Yeah,
because
a
again,
lot
a lot of those go back to bring it over.
Yeah, but a lot of those, it's like I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no,
a
get
lot
it.
A lot of those dudes who are into that lifestyle, especially the dudes that cut off their rod, a lot of them end up committing suicide. A lot of them, a high percentage of them, like 70% or something crazy like that.
Yep.
Over 50%.
And a lot of them, they've had things that happened to them when they were children, that made them even go into that lifestyle. And that all goes back to not having your either your mother or your father not around you. You're not having that full structure, not knowing who you are, and that's how a lot of our people get astray, and they start engaging in all these things that Esau, Edom. Yep, beautiful. Isaiah 19:14. Yep. And perverse means what? You just want to do what you want to do. That do as thy will, spirit. Anderson Crawley, that Jay-Z with Jay-Z, the shirt that he had, do as thy will. Meanwhile, he's got his head to head. This is supposed to be a Brooklyn Don, head to head with I forgot the bitch's name. But anyway, she does spirit cooking. Okay. Maria Abramovich. Abramovich, yeah.
Talking about Jay-Z, right?
Yeah. So he's head to head with her like this, like, I mean, I'm down with you. Meanwhile, she's spirit cooking, okay, and she's known for the things that she do, and everyone believes that she's also a man, right?
This is Isaiah 41, and 11, it reads, "Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt see them, and shalt not find them. Even them that contend with thee, that war against thee, shall be as nothing, and a thing of naught." You know, it reminds me of Job, the 18th chapter. You know, you want to get that?
Real quick, I got a scripture. This is
His
Isaac.
confidence shall be rooted about his tabernacle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. This is
can you get that, brother?
one more precept. This is Isaiah 41
Confidence shall be
and
rooted out.
13. "For the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, thy power will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob. Ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, and thy Redeemer, Yahweh Shai, who's the Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel." So we have nothing to worry about. You know, we're going to have to go through the straight gate, but the hopeful elect, the remnant, are set to get the victory at the end. The beast doesn't win. You know.
Yeah.
But he's going to come down. He's going to come down with great wrath. You know, this is the ultimate movie written by Yahweh Shema Shai, because through the movie you have, you know, the protagonist, the antagonist, and Esau Edom is built up to the carnal eye to look like he's going to get the victory. You know, just like Yahweh Shema Shai said, for this cause have I raised thee up, Pharaoh, and I might show my might and declare my name throughout all the earth. That's also reiterated in Romans, the 9th chapter.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's like you say you watch a movie, right, and then you only watch half of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to watch the whole movie. That's why it says, "He that endured to the end shall be saved." Okay, so we got to watch as well as pray, and watch the movie, playing it out. Because again, if you look back like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, this wasn't able to happen. This device, you know, they had some type of devices, but they didn't have where they can be able to knock down the economy.
You had William Cooper talking about it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
in his books. And
Yep.
other
That's what I'm
people
saying.
who
They
were
had it,
insiders.
but they didn't have where they can be able to knock down the economy and bring in the paper dollar. Okay, there was, and then another thing is Russia didn't have the capability for the hypersonic missiles.
To get over here.
Yeah, to get over here, because in the last 10 years it's increased at an all-time high. That's Daniel 12:4. Knowledge shall increase. So as on the
And
left,
America had way more allies back then. You know,
Yep.
you have the French basically have turned on America. You
Yep.
know, in the past year and a half, 2 years, they're like, to hell
Yep.
with America. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You have the French basically siding with the Russians. You know what I'm saying?
well, even China is going against, you know, because China is a major export. Okay, and what are they saying? Hey, we're tired of you because you gave us the juice, the beetle juice, and we see what you did. Now they're all part of it, okay? Because they all be meeting up at the Bilderberg meetings, or not the Bilderberg meetings, but the United Nations General Assemblies, and they be shaking hands together, okay? Because they all want the same thing, is what, to implement that device worldwide, because they know that's all power. But the thing is that the Moabites, Asia, they think that they got next, okay? But no, they have followed the ways of Esau Edom, and they're going to be punished too. Speaks about that in the Apocrypha. This is Isaiah 13.
Babylon into Asia.
Yeah, Asia. Yeah. So Isaiah 13. Yeah, you're not next, okay? Spoiler alert: Yahweh Shai wins. The Tabernacle of David wins. Yahweh Shai is next. Lord willing, we're of that number.
That green screen movie preview. You go into slavery.
Yep. That's in the credits. Okay, that's going to be the beginning of the credits, right?
The green screen movie previews.
Yeah.
Yep. Slavery, man.
Yep. That's a preview.
That's on the menu.
Yep.
That's on the menu, man. Starting with you guys.
Premiering soon. This is Isaiah 13 and 11. I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And these are the terrible, starting at the head tribe of Amalek. Amalek means what? Blood drinker. Okay? And they're the ones that control what? The music industry. They're the reason why the children have their pants hanging out their ass with a purse and having dreads all the way down to the floor. Okay? And that that gangbang spirit. Okay? This is the pride of the arrogancy. And we were speaking about Jay-Z and these different celebrities, because they're gonna start coming out. You already have Kim Kardashian. What is she doing? She's saying, you know, come eat these foods, right? Eat these mealworms and things like that. Okay, these impossible.
You eat the bugs.
Yeah.
Toss it on me,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will eat the bugs and be happy.
Yeah. So eating this impossible
You will
food.
eat the fake meat and be happy. That's Klaus Schwab, man.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And he does. Even his voice is even sinister. Just to show you, that's just like a movie. Like you have like the villain, and then you see him, but see,
Dr. Evil.
he's
He sort of looks like that.
yeah. That's what I'm
Dr.
saying.
Evil.
He looks like because like what do? They paint these. They have these things called what? Cult of personalities. Okay, they paint these guys and they'll put them out there and to see if and ultimately because you'll have people that like him, you know, and then you'll have people that won't like him. What to be able to divide and conquer.
And Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari are both Moes.
Yep, Transformers. Okay, there's a picture of him walking on the beach, and a motherfucking Transformer with a Abraham Lincoln hat. You know what I mean? You know, it's just.
Fornicator, profane person is
Yeah, and that's how you know who he is, because
Yep.
that's profaning outside the temple. We're supposed to have what covering, covering what of our
You're not supposed to put on a woman's garment.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
No.
Isaiah,
You're not supposed to, Leviticus 20 and 13. You know what I'm saying?
say Isaiah 13, and what if
What does Esau Edom do? He promotes it, you know? What's he looking to do now? He's out there in he's out there in Germany, and also in America, Babylon the Great, they have zoophilia, which is illegal, which is the practice of humping animals, you know? Which is a profane act, which the Egyptians used to do back in the day, you know?
and that's the things that that we see. So imagine what they do in the dark.
Yep.
Imagine the things that they're doing. We don't even want to imagine. But Isaiah 13 and 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto him shall fall by the sword. So again, anybody that takes that device, you're going to fall by that sword. Okay, you're going to be because just because you take that device, okay, that goes under your skin, under your hand, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to eat or drink. Okay, because it speaks about never trust thine enemy. It doesn't mean you're going to be okay, because that's but for a short time. Okay, because the Lord's going to intervene. That's going to be the hour of temptation. Okay, when the Lord's going to intervene for his elect.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go with 1, and then I'm gonna skip down to 3. Now we beseech you, brethren. That word "brethren" is adelphos, which means descending from the same national forefather or ancestor, Abraham through Isaac through Jacob, the Israelites. You know, relatives basically.
Heritage.
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto Him, and are we doing that? You know, through the unicorn. You know, the books open before the firmament. We didn't finish that. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
2nd Ezra 6 and 20. You know.
Yeah.
Well, we only got 18, I believe.
I got you.
This is
I still hold
2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And we had to fall away. You know, even you shall discontinue from thy heritage. Roughly paraphrasing Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Yep.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That man of sin be revealed. Talking about Esau Edom, the wicked, you know, of Esau Edom.
Yep.
And he's being revealed at the highest level right now. That's why they have something called a war on misinformation, a war on conspiracy theories. You know, the UN said anybody speaking out against the Rothschilds, anybody speaking out against
George
the wicked elite, George Soros, what's that nigga?
Yeah, right there.
Right
There's
here.
that devil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
devil.
this is Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Because again, that Inquisition goes into what a testimony, testifying against these devils.
Yep.
Okay, George Soros, we know that you're part of Black Lives Matter and part of Proud Boys and Antifa.
Yep.
Okay. George Bush, what did you push? What the drugs in the 70s and the 80s when you went to these different wars and you were taking taking the poppy seeds, which goes into the heroin, which goes into what your pharmakeas, which we brought that out earlier. Your sorcery.
The Rothschilds, we know you're hot. You know you behind the central banks.
Yep.
You know, which run the world. You
Yep.
know, one of the unclean spirits in Revelation 16 and 2. You're behind that whole operation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Being London, where all the elite bankers are stationed at it. You know, a lot of them better yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who make the laws. Roughly
Yep.
paraphrasing that.
Prince Philip, you know, you're hoarding a lot of the riches that you stole from our people, man.
I think
You know?
he's waiting for. He's already got his chain on. He's in the spirit world waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also this devil.
the unroyal family.
Yeah,
you know,
the unroyal.
They have a lot of
Yeah, because-
the treasures that were from the Byzantine
Yeah, yeah.
Empire.
Yep.
Also in these universities like Yale, Harvard, they have secret rooms where they have stuff from allegedly from like
Because we were controlling that land. We're I forgot the word what British means, but it goes back to goes back to us basically, right?
Yeah, they got like Geronimo's skull.
Yeah,
and-
because they're actually the teamen.
Yep.
Okay, the queen over there, that's actually, she's actually the team. She's actually a teaman. Okay, which would be what the small,
Teamites.
the Teamites, right?
Germans.
And then well yeah, so Prince Philip, the one thing I want to get was, he said if I could be able to come back in the world, I would be what a disease. Yeah, I would be, so like of all things, that's what you wanted. That's his only goal. He didn't live 80 years, or I think he was like in his 90s, and he lived 90 years. He's like, if I could have a goal, is to come back as a disease. See, that's the mindset of Esau Edom. That's the mindset of the devil.
This is
Okay.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And
The
it
son of
reads,
perdition, right here.
Yep. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Who? The prophets. You know? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. He shall destroy you with the brightness of his coming.
Yep.
Because he's going to come with clouds, and what is he going to do? There's birds flying. I'll just get it real quick. Isaiah 31 and 5, I get Isaiah 19 and 1. I'll pass it on.
Yeah, because the Lord is what that's how our Lord speaks.
Yep.
Okay, He sent forth. We were speaking about that earlier. That I'd known you before the womb.
Yep.
Okay, that He would give the instruction to be able to prophesy the downfall, bringing in the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shai.
This is Isaiah 31 and 5, and it reads, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it. Talking about the elect, you know?
Beautiful.
He will defend Jerusalem, man. He's going to come back and beam up the elected chariots, man.
And just to add on to that, Jerusalem is a people for it's a place.
Yep. The
Okay.
heavenly Jerusalem.
Yep.
You know, the elect. This is Isaiah 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of the Egypt shall melt in the midst of it.
And right there, we brought that out last camp.
Yeah.
And what's going on in Nicaragua? They're knocking down the heads of these white, pale-faced homosexual images. They're knocking them off. They're going to these Christian churches and these Catholic churches, and what they're knocking the head off, Serapis Christi, okay, Jesus Christ, okay?
Which goes back to the Greek Empire, and
Yep.
it was a god. It was a god that Ptolemy set up to worship his son, Ptolemy II.
Yep.
You know, Ptolemy Alexander. You know what I'm saying? And that god's name was Jesus Christos, which is where you get the name Jesus Christ from.
Yep.
It goes back to the Greek Empire. You know what I'm saying?
And before that was what Serapis Christi, okay? And it shows you that these devils, they always want to be like the Most High, okay? Because you have Ptolemy.
That same deity was reincarnated, better yet, through Cesare Borgia.
Yep, which is reiterated in the Apocrypha,
Yep.
where it speaks about that what happened. What I want to say, so you have those different deities being knocked down, but the Lord is going to let you know when He comes in that great chariot that that pale-faced image, that's not going to be able to save you, okay? Because you're going to have to know Him. Going back to 2 Ezra 9, you're going to know what pain by death, because those that don't have that covering, that hedge, are going to be hit with what? Famine, pestilence, evils, calamities, scourges, and these are all created for the wicked, okay? This is real quick. This is Job 24 and 14. It says, the murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and the needy, and the night is as a thief. So again, he's constantly plotting in the darkness, okay? And these think tanks and these Bilderberg meetings, these United Nations General Assemblies meetings, okay, to what? Come against the men of the Lord. How can we stop them from, how can we knock down the internet?
And those Nicaraguans, those are Israelites. Man.
Yeah, that's what I was,
And
yeah,
that goes
yeah,
back to the law, real quick.
Yeah,
Deuteronomy 12 and 3. Yep. I'll start with 1. These are the statutes, Lakia, and the judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land, which Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, power of thy fathers, giveth thee to possess it all the days that ye live upon the earth. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains, and upon the hills, and under every green tree. Ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire, and shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. And that's happening through this word.
Yep.
You know, what those Nicaraguans do, they did exactly that. You know what I'm saying?
Good. And this is 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. It says, 2 Corinthians 10 and 4, for our weapons of warfare are not carnal, but the mighty through Yahweh to pulling down the strongholds. Okay? And that's a stronghold on our people. You still have people going down to these churches, right? Going down to these churches, you know, still listening to TD Snakes, Cleflo Dollar, right? 2 Corinthians 10 and 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to obedience of a Mashiach. So again, the brother brought it out, you know, going into what? The smashing down of these idols, okay? And also you had the word hewn, which means what? To cut. And this word is what? Cutting into pieces. And this word is like what? A fire. Jeremiah 23 and 29, Jeremiah 5 and 14, okay?
Hosea 6 and 5, and it reads,
Bring it out, yeah.
therefore have I hewn them by the prophets.
Beautiful.
I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
Yep. Hewn them by the prophets. And what's the judgments that are going forth? Plagues, tribulation, anguish, the downfall, the twilight, the decree, the decline, Slakim, the decline of Esau, Edom's kingdom. It's all through this word. And that's why it's so important not to gather up arms. Because the Lord's doing a miraculous work. The Lord's working right now. Okay? He's putting in that work. Just like we should be doing. Because what is it, Matthew 5 and 48? We should be like Yahweh, we should be like the heavenly. Well, Yahawashi quoted it, or he said it, right? But he was talking about the Heavenly Father Yahweh, okay? And that was in red letters. So if Yahawashi is trying to be like Yahweh, then we're trying to be like Yahawashi, okay? We're trying to be perfect like Him, as far as what? Doing the work, okay? Rebuking and reproving, because again, if you don't work, you don't eat, right? The Lord Yahawashi had to work, so how much more that you have to work? You know what I mean? Because we're fighting for something that's external, something that's an eternity, forever. This is the only kingdom that's going to be forever. Esau, Edom, his kingdom is but for a moment. So whatever that you're engaging in this world is nothing. It's all vanity.
This is Habakkuk 1 and 5, and it reads, behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye shall not believe, though it be told you.
Yeah, so would you believe before the Lord drawed you out that you would be out here on the highways and the byways? That's a miracle right there. Would you believe that even going back 4 or 5 years ago, before the pandemic happened, would you believe that there's going to be no food? Okay, you know what I mean? If you weren't in the truth, okay, you wouldn't believe that work that would happen. You wouldn't believe that all these things would happen until the Lord gave you that understanding, gave you that wisdom, and that's able to be comfort, because the Lord is known as the comforter. Okay, the Yahawashi is the comforter, but He's also known as the Word, and these words are comforting when you're able to know what your enemy's going to do before he does it. Okay, it says Job 24 and 14. I'll read it again. The murderer, okay, wasn't Cain a murderer? Okay, and what Esau's coming in that same spirit, rising
was the first murder.
Yep. Yeah, John 8 and 44. Yep. John 10 and 10. Okay, this is how we know Esau Edom is, right? Rising with the light, the light killeth the poor and the needy in the night and as thief. So he's rising up with his truth, with his false philosophies. Okay, and a lot of what is he doing? He's stealing away your heritage. He's an imposter coming with his own. Saying that he is Yahawashi, right? It says Job 24 and 15. The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and distinguish it his face. So again, going into what the adulterer goes into idol worship. Okay, and what do they want you to do? They want you to worship. They want you to worship this right here, which is ultimately going into your temple. They want to be able to go inside of your temple, which is your body, to be able to destroy it, take away your VMAT2 and your God gene.
I got a quick reset from the brother out there in Australia. Hey,
Shalom, Maki.
This is Hebrews 4 and 12. Then it reads, for the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Yep.
And Esau Edom's cut to the 7th and 8th peak meat right now, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why he's crying out.
Yep.
It's misinformation. It's disinformation.
It's
72,
conspiracy theories.
72 extremists.
Yep.
Okay, they're conspiracy facts. Okay, these are it's like we read earlier. Manifest. They're obvious. It's obvious what you're doing. You're just being exposed, and the true men of the Lord are calling you out on it. Real quick, 2nd Ezra 15, just to add on to that. 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and giving it to spake thus, take the holy sword, a gift from Yahweh, which where thou shalt wound thy adversaries. So that's what's happening. This spiritual sword right here, okay, and the words that Yahweh Shem Shai gives the true men of the Lord is what cutting this place asunder. And as we were reading in 2nd Ezra 6, when you go into that word asunder, because Ezra inquired, what shall be the parting asunder? Asunder goes into what? Pieces. And this place is going to be what? Broken to pieces, going into the idol worship. And Yahweh Shai is going to what? Come and break it to pieces, right? Starting with this word.
This is Psalms 119 and 125, and it reads, I am thy servant. Give me understanding that I may know thy testimonies. You know,
Yep.
the prophecies, the breakdowns, you know.
Yep.
You'll be comforted knowing what's to come. This is Psalms 119 and 126. It is time for thee, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, to work, for they have made void thy law. And the Heavenly Father is working. You know? You can see it by watching the news, watching what's going on in Israel. You know, all those guys who aren't teaching the proper breakdown of the MOTB, they're starting to bug out. You know, they're starting to be confounded, man. You know, Esau Edom, what he's doing in the earth. You know, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai is working, man. You know what I'm saying? Then pushing the MOTB system. You know, you got Vocab Malone, you know, running circles around himself, you know, being confounded at every single turn.
Yep.
Yahweh
Yeah,
Bashem Yahshai is working,
and
man.
the wonderful work is the brothers that are waking up all around the four corners of the earth.
Yep.
Waking up, what? Calling on the name, having that light shining upon them, that light that can't shine on Esau, because what? Cain, of his wicked sacrifice, of him killing his brother, the Lord Yahweh, what? Turned his face away from Esau Edom.
Which is this truth.
Yep, which is this understanding. So again, this light.
Because he wasn't meant to get it from the get-go.
Yep. So again, going back to the adulterer, right, the murderer, and when you go into, let me just read it again. This is Job 24 and 15. The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me and distinguish his face. So again, going into the ideology, okay, going into what the charagma that they want to implant under your skin or on your hand, going into what Serapis Christi, Jesus Christ that we have today, going into what worshiping money, worshiping these, worshiping your birthday, worshiping yourself, idol, self worship, okay, and and then waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me and distinguish his face. So when you go into the word twilight, it goes into what the decline of what Esau Edom's kingdom, and that goes into that two-edged sword that's cutting this place asunder, right? Job 20. Oh no, bring it up.
Oh, this is 1 John, which you mentioned, 3 and 11, and it reads, for this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Talking about us Israelites.
Yep.
What is love? To teach, keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying?
Freely as you give, freely as you receive.
Yep. Not as Cain, who was of the wicked one, who slew his brother, and wherefore slew he him, because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
Going into him being covetous, being envious. Envious, you're not supposed to envy your brother. Okay? You're not supposed to be jealous of what your brother has. That's being covetous. Okay? And that's what Cain was. Cain's in the same spirit, or Esau's in the same spirit as Cain, showing you the reincarnation.
This is 1 John 3 and 13. It reads, marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you. Going down into 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Yep.
And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
Yep. Because you're not supposed to kill thy brother. Okay? You're not supposed to be a murderer. Now, if someone comes into your house and you're, and something happens, okay, that's different. That's not being a murderer. Okay? A murderer is you're covering after someone, right?
You can listen, but just listen.
Keep
Back
going.
up, please.
Yeah, I got Job. Let's go back to this. Job 24 and 16. In the dark they dig through the houses which they have marked for themselves. In the daytime they know not the light. Okay? So in the dark. So again, in these dark rooms, again, I keep saying it, reiterating it, and these think tanks, okay, and these these different meetings that they meet in secret, right? They're thinking how they can be able to go into our houses. okay, and be able to take us out, right? Like a lion sitting in the lurking places, seeking who he may devour, okay? And when the let me read this again. It says, in the dark they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves. In the daytime they know not the light. So again, one legislation that they passed was that if you're within 100 miles, they can be able to legally come into your house, taking away your Fourth Amendment right, which is basically your Fourth Amendment right is where they're not supposed to come into your house unless they have a warrant. So they're changing laws, and they're changing laws that they had, their so-called constitution or so-called amendments. They're changing them so they can be able to be draconian, showing you that they have a short time. Revelation 13:11. It says 17, one more. It says, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. Okay? So again, this is the valley of shadow of death, known as what? Babylon the Great. Because of what? A valley is set at a low place. There's low moral standards. The brother brought out that they're trying to pass law. Well, they already have, where like 6 or 7 states where you can be able to be you can be able to be a beast. You can be able to do bestiality. Okay? Then they're trying to now they're trying to legalize pedophilia. Okay? And butthead pedo Joe, he just got caught for running the biggest child trafficking in far as in the whole world. Okay? Which we already, alternative networks already know that. Everyone already knows that, but now they're starting to get judged. Okay?
Children in cages at the border, and a lot of those children end up getting sexually assaulted, getting sold to slave trades, getting sold to the cartel to be mules, you know, and a lot of them get beat up, you know, and those are people, man.
Love y'all. One love. Was that a good one? No? You guys are serious.
This is Psalms 37 and 13. I'll start with 12, and it reads, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. And we see Esau Edom's day coming by what he's pushing in the earth. You know? You want to get Isaiah 54
and also we're seeing the judgment of these heathen. Okay, the judgment of the heathen, and even 2/3 of our people, because they think everything's a joke. But it's not going to be a joke when you have no food, when you have to eat your child. Okay, then the joke's gonna be on you, because the Lord said that we're gonna be laughing. The Lord's gonna laugh at you and your calamity. Okay, and it speaks about in Proverbs 1, because everyone around here, they think it's a joke and everything's funny. Okay, now we might laugh and joke because we see the understanding.
Real
okay.
Quick, the next precept goes into that. And it reads, the Lord. This is Psalms 37 and 12, and it reads, the wicked plotteth against the just. What? Their New World Order agenda, you know, their military, their secret sleeper cells they have, these mechanical robotic dogs, the wicked legislations that they're looking to pass forth, their unrighteous decrees.
Yeah, the brother just put that on the page. Isaiah 10 and 1.
Yep. You know. This is all good. Psalm 37 and 12. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming, and also those that reign 1 hour with the beast, and every single heathen nation that put their hands on us. You know, Moab, Ammon, Japheth, what this guy was, I believe, either or, Moab, Ammon, or Japheth. Most likely Ammon or Japheth, you know, Pacific Islander, you know. And the Pacific Islanders, those are the ancient Medes who reigned aside the Persian Empire, you know, the Medo-Persian Empire, you know, which happened right after the Babylonian Empire, and they were taken down by the Greeks, the Edomites, and all those heathen nations are going to have to get their day in court. You know what I'm saying? Which is 1,000 years of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Their judgment. Ready yet. And court is in session right now.
Yeah, and real quick, you know, just to add on to that, because you always have these dudes, right? They'll be rolling with 7 bitches, right? 7 bitches, right? They're not with no men, and then they'll act like they're in a tough spirit, like those women are going to be able to do nothing, and they try to come up to actual men. Okay, so the Lord sees all that. Okay, the Lord sees all that, and all that shit, that bullshit, that vexation of spirit. Because again, we didn't come from an easy background. You know, I just speak for myself. You know what I mean? And that type of disrespect that's when you just
with the Baphomet.
Yeah,
you know
yeah, and that's what it is. The whole place is Baphomet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know, just.
This is the next precept, Psalm 37 and 14. The wicked have drawn out their sword and have beat their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. And that's the good news, man. You know, their sword shall enter into their own heart. What? Their ICBM missile. Got Isaiah 54?
Yeah, it's Isaiah 54, verse 16.
17 as well, brother.
Okay. All right, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire,
The Temanites, you know, the German scientists.
and bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Yep, the ICBM missile, which was the nuclear missile back in the 1940s.
And I have created the waster to destroy."
Yep, waster. That's going back to Esau Edom, Ishashua. You know, waste away his heat. You know.
And I believe the guy that made that was Oppenheimer. Or no, not. Let me look it up. No, keep going.
Verse 17, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper."
Yep, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. So every single invention that these guys push forward, you know, to try to come after us, it's all going to be confounded. Because when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is going to raise up a standard against it. If you go into that word standard, you know, it goes into being able to get spiritual power. You know, the ability to fly. You know, the ability to disappear. That word spirit is racha, which is warlike energy. You know, endowing men with various gifts. You know, we believe. You know what I'm saying? We believe that these things are going to happen. Because if you go into the road, our forefathers had that ability. You know, the apostles, man, they were out there. Peter was able to put people to death with one rough word. It talks about that in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter. You know, with one rough word. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Bashim Yahshai can do damage, man. You know what I'm saying? The prophets are going to be able to get that type of power. You know, the apostles were raising people from the dead. The Lord was doing the same thing. You know, also our forefathers, Samson, David. You know, Judas Maccabees, man. You know what I'm saying? He had angels helping him. It was actually Simon Maccabees, actually, Slackhead. He had angels helping him on the battlefield, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get that same type of power, man. You know, Lord's will we be of that number. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Psalms 44, Psalms 144.
With
Okay.
thee have I run through a troop.
Yep.
You know?
And it speaks about the Lord trains your hands for battle. Okay.
Yep. Arise and thresh.
Yep. That new threshing instrument.
Yep.
Right. Real quick, I just want to add on. So the guy's name is J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Okay. Which which was also known as what he was known as what the destroyer of worlds. Okay. And if you ever look up, this is just it right here. I'm not gonna play it because you can't really hear it out here. But the whole point is that when he was saying it, you could tell that he knew.
The family is actually above the It's actually above the Rothschild family. They actually helped the Rothschild family get their start. The apostles brought that out a while ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And these are both what Edomites, and the Lord has given them that power on the left-hand side to be able to create what the smith and the waster. Okay, to what to destroy, ultimately to have that bow fall upon their own heads. Okay, and also that goes into 2/3 of our people. And also these heathen nations. Real quick, Ezekiel 21:9, "Son of man, prophesy and say, thus said Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished." And also that goes back to Genesis 4:22, Tubal Cain, the artificer. Okay, because back then what they had swords. Okay, now but Yahweh Shemashai has increased what the technology, the science to be able to have these hypersonic missiles that can be able to come from from Russia to Babylon the Great in 29 minutes. Okay, and they're not able to be traced, showing you that
arrows that are shot to the ends of the earth.
Yep, beautiful. And yeah, because going into how they reference it in the scriptures, it doesn't say hypersonic missile.
Yeah,
you have
because our forefathers, they didn't have the terminology of hypersonic missile, intercontinental ballistic missile. They described what they saw in visions.
Yep.
And described it to a T. You know.
Yep. And
for us, in these latter days, Daniel 12:4, wisdom and knowledge shall be increased.
Yep.
To break down.
Yep. To make it what? Plain upon tables.
Yep.
The vision shall be yet for a appointed time, and the end it shall not tarry.
And these shall speak and not tarry.
Speak and not tarry.
Yep.
Roughly paraphrasing.
So,
yeah. You know, and that's the whole point. And iron. Yeah. What's the vision? The vision is the judgment that Habakkuk had. He had that vision of what was going to happen. John the Revelator had the vision of the judgments. Because of what they were given the mysteries, given the understanding, given the breath, which is the same breath that Yahweh Shemashai is given to the true men of the Lord, and we pray that we're of that hopeful elect.
And Jeremiah, Isaiah, and John the Revelator were all given a vision of the destruction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
of the destroying instruments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I saw a doctrine.
Revelation the 17th chapter, Revelation 18th chapter.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 51. Isaiah the 13th chapter. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all speaking about the same day. Okay, it's not speaking about different days. Okay, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, no, it's all
It's called the great and terrible day of the Lord.
terrible day of the Lord.
Because it's great for the hopeful elect, and it's terrible for everybody outside the temple, everybody outside this gathering.
Yep.
It's terrible for you because you're going to have to face the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Yep.
And Esau Edom, you know, you're going to be through in that day, man.
Yep.
You know, and that's the good news.
Yep.
That's a part of the good news, as well as the blessings that are going to come to those who be of the hopeful elect.
Like that brother makes the videos when you have Esau all bloody.
Yep.
You know, I forgot the brother's name, but he always does the beautiful videos. Yeah. So he always and Esau's always beaten up.
He's out of San Francisco.
Yeah, he's always beat up and all bloody, because that's how it's gonna be. And then the Lord's gonna have that spirit to what meditate terrors on these devils. So all the things that they have done that we don't even know about, maybe to our children, to our fathers, to whatever the people were that were around us that made them not be a part of us. We're gonna be able to know those things that they have did to our ancestors. You know what I mean, and things like that. So again,
real quick, while the point is hot, man, I gotta get it for you, brother.
Bring it out.
Bringing it out. This is Ezekiel 25. No.
What, drink of the cup?
No.
Or
I will pull my spirit. They should do according to my anger. I think you want to get that different, bro? Maybe
you talking about the missiles?
I will lay vengeance upon Edom by my people Israel.
I'll finish this out. This is Ezekiel 21:9. Son of man, prophet. Here, have him find it on the phone. It says Ezekiel 21:9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus said Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contend with the rod of my son as every tree. So again, it may glitter, because when you go into those the hypersonic missiles, as far as the head of it, what it has that shining glitter on it.
I was in 24, bro.
Okay, come.
This is Ezekiel 25 and 14. I was reading Ezekiel 24 and 14.
Okay.
They're so close together. And it reads, and I will lay vengeance. I'm gonna start with 12. And it reads, Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they from Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger. And that's the top anger, the anger of the Heavenly Father. You know? We don't even have, the capability of getting that man right now in these mortal bodies, man. You know? But the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to put that spirit upon us. Lord's will we be of that number when we get those new bodies, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Ezekiel 25 and 14. And it reads, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
They shall know. They shall know as we have known him. Okay. So going back to Ezekiel 21 and 10. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is for Ezekiel 21 and 10. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter.
17, I didn't have.
Okay, Ezekiel 21 and 10. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth and contend with the rod of my son as every tree? So a tree goes into the people. So should we be in mirth? Should we be in a party spirit, a bad bitch spirit, a young thug, a gunner spirit? No, we should be be in lamentations and be in mourning, not with your head laid down, okay, but standing firmly on this word, okay, and trusting in the Lord that He's gonna perform Habakkuk 1 and 5, okay, work a work that you wouldn't believe or that you would believe.
Isaiah 54:17.
All right, Isaiah 54 verse 17, it says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn.
That's the legacy of the prophets.
This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord.
Yep, that's our heritage. You know what I'm saying? The legacy of the prophets is to tell these heathen nations their judgments and to tell our people to repent. You know, the prophets will always give warning before Yahweh Hashem Yahushua would take down the kingdom. He would send out his prophets, and that's a time, that's a sign of the end times, buddy. Is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua sending out the dream team of prophets. You know?
Yeah, because again, the tabernacle of David was fierce warriors.
Yep.
Okay, and so again, right back then we were fighting with what swords? Okay, now we're fighting with the spiritual sword. Okay.
I got that for you in Ephesians 6.
Okay, bring it up with it.
This is Ephesians the 6th chapter, and it reads, "And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High."
Beautiful. You know what I mean? And this is all a spiritual thing. Esau, Edom, the natural man can't receive this, okay? But the spiritual man can. They're going to have the understanding of that we have to be out here on the highways and the byways, make our body a living sacrifice. We have to be persecuted for the truth, okay? We have to trust in the Lord. We have to pray without ceasing. We have to fast. We have to put on all these, the spiritual armor.
The next precept goes into that. Ephesians 6 and 18, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Yep. And who are the saints? Okay, the Hebrew Israelites, but particularly the elect. Okay, because the elect is the only one that's a crying and sighing for all the
The
abominations.
saints shall take the kingdom.
Yep.
The elect. You know what I'm saying?
Good. This is 2 Chronicles 36 and 15.
And we're taking the kingdom right now because through the spirit of power Yahweh, Shem Yahshua, we're speaking the victory into existence, man.
Yep.
You know.
And it speaks about that, Jeremiah 1 and 10, that we will be raised up above the nations. And that goes into wisdom, because wisdom goes into what? Intelligence. Intelligence of what your enemy is going to do. That is a gift when you know what Esau, Edom is doing. Okay? That's why he can't figure out. How does he know that we're implementing the Charagma? How do they know that Russia's going to fire off missiles at us? How do they, you know what I mean? Right? This is 2 Chronicles. This is 2 Chronicles. There was Micah. I know the brother brought out Micah 4 and 1. We could go into that one. Let me get this. This second. That was one that was on the comment board. Micah 4 and 1. It says 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashai of their fathers sent to him by messengers rising betimes. So again, betimes goes into what? Early. It says, and sending because he had compassion on his people and his dwelling place. So the Lord sent forth what his prophets to be able to give our people warning, whether they will hear or they forbear. Right? 16, but they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahweh Shemashai arose against his people until there was no remedy. It says 17, therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew their young men with the sword in the house and their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young men or maiden or old man, and him that stooped for age he gave them all into the hand. So again, that goes into what the modern day Assyrian, that rod of Yahweh Shemashai's anger, and that goes into this chapter right here. It's just what he's known as, what, the executioner, right? So this is yeah, Ezekiel 21 and 11.
Because we got the mic so they can hear us.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys keep moving. First I was over here, then I was, you know, whatever spot I can be able to be in. I'm here on service, right? This is Ezekiel 21 and 11. As long as I got a spot, right? So Ezekiel 21 and 11. Yeah, to Wadi Yahweh Shema Shai. That's right. This is a reasonable service. Oh, there's Jake. Like,
yeah, the Jake. On the side.
Yeah. Ezekiel.
I be seeing dude when I be going out to eat.
Oh, okay, good.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
We'll be out there on Wednesday? Yeah, we'll be out there.
Lord willing. I want to wrap this up. Ezekiel 21 and 11. And he had given it to furbish that it may be handled, and the sword is sharpened, it is furbished to give it to the hand of the slayer. And Esau Edom is the hand of the slayer. He's the executioner. Okay, he's going to be the one that's coming in like a madman spirit nun. He's going to be coming in with what his super soldiers, his tanks, okay, his National Guard, his UN troops. He's going to be the one that's coming in with what the those sleeper cells that they brought over here, that they keep having these so-called immigrants coming over here, when a lot of them, you know, people believe that they're actually, you know, would be Issachar, but they're not. They're not even Issachar, right? They're actually from Afghanistan, from Ukraine, and they're putting these sleeper cells. Even in New York, I saw an article where they're housing these so-called immigrants that are from Ukraine. Okay, why would they do that? You know, ultimately to what? Either two things. You know, either to inaugurate, to be able to give them that hot sauce, or they're actually part of the whole of them with the IRS agents being hired. Okay, they're called sleeper cells when you look up the word. And again, the Lord is what bringing forth what his executioner, which is Esau Edom.
Yeah. All right, Ezekiel 25, verse 17. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them.
Yeah, because the Lord is the one that's bringing forth the judgment. Okay, he controls what the left-hand side and the right-hand side. A lot of people don't have that understanding. You had a lady last week, or last camp, she said, God is good. You know what I mean? But she doesn't understand that our Lord is also a terrible demon-like power, the El Shaddai. Okay, the Lord executes what, judgment on the left-hand side, okay, which is ultimately his ways are not our ways. You don't know why he does certain things, but no one dies innocent, okay, in this thing, right?
Isaiah 45 and 7, and it reads, I'm going to start with 6, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, do all these things.
Yep, because the Lord is what omnipotent. Okay, and that's what he.
All powerful.
Yep, and that's what he's raising up. He's raising up what men of the Lord to ultimately going back to the garden. Okay, to be able to understand what good and evil, that tree of life. Okay, to be able to judge, both sides. Because if you know what...
It was written in the story for Adam
Yep.
to be deceived by Eve, to eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, because to be a perfect ruler, you have to have the understanding of both good and evil.
Yep.
But through the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua and through his mercy, we're allowed to eat from the tree of life right now, which is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which leads to eternal life.
Yep, which is that vine, which is Yahweh Shai that it speaks about in John 15.
This is Sirach 19 and 19, since we're on the topic, one of my favorite precepts. And he reads, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
And that's what we're trying to eat off that tree of immortality, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, eat off what that body, okay, through what Wisdom of Solomon 16:26, that nourishment. Okay, because again, this brings forth life, while Esau Edom brings forth death. Everything that he pushes is what death, or known as hell, right? A condition played out on earth.
John 6 and 63, to back you up on that point. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
Yep.
Classic.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, and they are life. Okay, and that's what. And right now we have life. Okay, we're not in the congregation of dead. We know who we are. Okay, and that is true power. Real quick, this is Isaiah 49 and 1. Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, you people from far. Yahweh Shem Shai had called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother. He had made mention of my name. So again, going into the bowels of the mother. Okay, the Lord knew us before we were even born. Okay. 2, and he had made me my mouth a sharp sword, in the shadow of his hand he had hid me, and made me a polished shaft in his quiver, and he had hid me. So again, we were speaking about this last week. The Lord has preserved it to this time to be able to prophesy, okay? And He has hid us in his quiver, hidden us under the wings, okay? And that goes into the elect, and we are known as those sharp swords. Now physically, if we're of the elect, the Lord's going to raise up the new threshing instrument, okay? But right now, this word is a sharp sword, as the brother brought out from Australia, Hebrews 4 and 12, okay? 3, and said unto me, thou art my servant, O Israel, whom I will be glorified. So what does the servant do? Okay, a servant follows the orders of whoever else is in the rank, in order. Okay, and they do the work. They do the things that their master or their boss tells them to do. Because what happens if you don't do the work that he tells you to do? What does he tell you? Don't come back. We don't need you. We don't need you, in the business, in the profession, right? So that's what a servant does. He glorifies the name, and he stands upon that rock and gives forth this word. Okay, and that's all a gift from Yahweh Shem Shai. This is nothing to boast in. It has to be given to you, right? It says, "For then I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught in vain. Yet surely my judgment is with Yahweh, Shem Shai, and my work with my power Yahweh." So again, Hebrews 6, it speaks about the Lord is not going to forgive your works in vain. Okay, He knows what you're doing. He knows what you're going through. Okay, so He's going to work with you, but you have to actually engage in the work. You have to engage in whatever test that Yahweh Shem Shai is putting on you. You got to be hardened like a good soldier. Because again, what you say your page was a prisoner.
Prisoner of hope.
Yeah, prisoner of hope. This is all about hope. Okay, but also what you have to, through faith, hope is faith, right? You also have to have what works, right?
Real quick, Colossians 1 and 6. I'm going to get 9 and 10 as well.
Bring it up.
And it reads, Colossians 1 and 6. I'm going to start with 5. For we hope, which is laid, for the hope, which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof ye heard before in the word of the truth of the gospel. Read again, Colossians 1 and 5. For the hope which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof ye heard before in the word of the truth of the gospel, which is come unto you, as it is in all the world, and bringeth forth fruit, as it doth also in you, since the day ye heard of it, and knew the grace of the Most High in truth. And what does the scripture say? That you bring forth fruit leads to repentance. If you go to that word fruit, it means acts, works, deeds. And through your acts, works, deeds, you're going to be able to, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, and persuade those to come in. You know what I'm saying?
Because the Lord's going to draw them out. But by you being out here on the highways and byways, made that spectacle, by you putting forth what those epistles on the tower, okay, that is your work. So just like we're having an inquisition on these devils, we're testifying against them, we're doing it by what our works, okay? And then when the Lord comes back, He says, "Oh, okay, I don't know how I was gonna go, but I was just saying in the spiritual sense, and just as a man, right? Okay, you did this. Okay, you did this. Okay, you built that house, or you whatever, you laid that foundation.
You just didn't lay that that penny He gave you in the ground. You added increase. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You exchanged the money and you came back with the increase.
Yep.
Beautiful. You didn't just hide that shekel in the ground. And,
Shekel,
when the Lord returns, He's going to tell you, "Oh, thou wicked and slothful servant." That's what you don't want to be told. You want to stay occupied in prophecy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Occupy till I come, which means occupy goes into what? Work.
Yeah, Luke 19.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you had those servants who gave excuses. You know what I'm saying? I married a wife. I bought a piece of land. The Lord's not going to hear any of that shit when He comes back, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to get out here as much as you can and do as much as you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Why to work while it's still day.
Yeah, I got you.
For the day coming when no man can work. Roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah, because you're not going to be prophesying in the kingdom. You're not going to be doing the breakdowns in the kingdom.
Like, you see what they're doing? They're looking to take us off the internet. That's why they have this whole trial situation with Alex Jones. And what are they saying about Alex Jones? Not only does he need to be fined $45 million, but he needs to be thrown in jail. He needs to be taken off the internet. We need these type of talking points to be removed totally from the internet.
Yep.
And that's a plan of the wicked elite to come after, eventually, the men of Yahweh Shem Shai. And we welcome the opportunity, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because, we don't want to be out here prophesying forever. You know what I'm saying? It's fun coming out here. We enjoy the work, but at the same time, this isn't our glory. Our glory is to reign in the kingdom, man. Our glory is rulerships, to sit on thrones. That's what we want. That's what we do this for. Not for internet glory, not for, fame and praise, for brothers to be throwing up a million precepts in the comic book. Now, we appreciate it, but this isn't our glory. You know what I'm saying? Our glory is to reign with Yahweh Shai and to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai and to put hell in the heathen. You know what I'm saying?
Because the elect's glory comes through Yahweh Shai.
Real quick, let me finish this. Colossians 1 and 9, and it reads, For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye be filled with the knowledge of His will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that ye might walk worthy of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Shai. And that's, what you want to be doing. You want to be increasing,
Yep.
You want to get 2 Samuel.
Yeah.
Uh,
Increasing.
3 and 2.
So, and then Elder Yashawamba, he had said this, you know, you shouldn't be the same as even last week or the same of 2 weeks or even a month ago. You should always be increasing. And that goes through what? Studying. Study that show thyself improve. Giving diligence. Asking the Lord, you know, praying to him for an increase in wisdom and understanding, okay, of the scriptures. Praying that you have no gall in your mouth, okay?
Real quick, 2 Samuel.
All right, 2 Samuel 3 verse 1. Now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David.
Yep, which is playing out to this last day. You have those who are outside the house of David, who are outside the 100% truth, and the house of David waxing mightier and mightier, and the house of Saul waxing weaker and weaker. Keep on, my brother.
Says,
Starting
but
from the top, brother. Love
Says,
it.
now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David.
Yep,
But David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker.
yep. And we still see that war playing out to this day. You know, through the unicorn. You know what I'm saying? This is a spiritual battle. And the house of Saul, those who are coming in the spirit of the house of Saul are waxing weaker and weaker. We can tell by their works.
Yep. Those that are coming with what? That gal.
Yep.
Okay. And also those that are not put in the effort,
Also,
right?
real quick, you got the blue letter?
Yeah.
This is
Go
let me
to
read this.
Revelation 21 and 8.
This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. For man also know not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in the evil time when it falls suddenly upon them. So those are the ones that they don't make a they're delaying to come to the Lord. Okay, they're delaying, saying, oh, I'll come to the Lord tomorrow, or I'll repent for my sins tomorrow. No, you can't, because no man knows, no one knows his time or place. Okay, no one knows when you're going to be sent into the spirit world. So we're praying that we make our call and election sure by doing the work. Okay. So going back to you got
Got a
something?
quick precept.
Yeah, bring
This
it
is
up.
Revelation 21 and 8. And it reads, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The first ones mentioned are the fearful, man. You know, those who are faint-hearted, man. You know what I'm saying? Those who didn't endure to the end. Those who didn't want to come out to the highways and byways and make their bodies a living sacrifice. Those who didn't count the cost. They didn't have the spirit to endure unto the end. And what happened? Men mocked and laughed at them, man. You know, Luke the 14th chapter, 28 down to 30. That word fearful. It's the word. It's the first one. The fearful. At the very top.
At the top. Okay, there we go.
Fearful. That word fearful is Strong's G. It's like oh man, it's up to your phone, bro.
Yeah.
Satan.
Press back if you can. Good. Yeah. How do you open the word? Can you open the word?
Yeah, let's see.
Slakia, bear with us.
Yeah, this thing is acting weird.
Can you get it on your phone, bro?
What is it?
Revelation 21 and 8, the blue letter. You want to look it up on the website, not the app, because the app is harder to open up the actual definitions.
Well, I got it.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
oh, you
as
got
long
it.
as it's actually in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a definition I want to get fearful.
Revelation 21 and 8.
Yeah, go to the lexicon. The last one at the very bottom. And that word fearful. At the very top, bro. The fearful. The second one.
Yep.
Yep.
So this is the Greek 1169.
The very bottom, the lexicon.
Right here. Strong's definition.
Yep. Faithless, fearful. Where's the other one right here? Damn, does it
It's
show?
going to be.
Yeah, on the website it pulls out the lexicon.
Okay.
It's all-
Revelation.
21 and 8. The Thayer's lexicon is the very bottom where it gives like
Blue Letter Bible, right?
yeah, expounded definitions.
Maybe get some precepts.
Yeah, this is Amos 8 and 11, and it reads, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, that I will see the famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. Yep, and that's gonna happen, slowly but surely, man.
Yep. That's what that
We gotta get this up.
the misinformation. No, I'm getting it. Yeah, the misinformation, disinformation act is all about, right? So this would be
21.
I think it's going through all of them. Let's see.
You can just type it in right
I think it just jumped right back into the app. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's not
there.
like-
It's all good, man.
yeah.
Yeah, mine was tripping too.
I think because when you have the app installed, it just goes right to that.
Let me try to. Yeah, it's actually pulling up now. Yep. That's what I was looking for. So timid, fearful. And it reads, of Israelites, it says Christians who through cowardice gave way under persecutions and aposties. Now, if you look at this word cowardice, look up. Oh, man. You don't have the internet on your phone?
Yeah, I do. It's tripping. Yeah, it's tripping.
So I'll just add on to that point where the brother brought out there's going to be a famine of the word. This is Ezekiel 3:25. It says, but thou, O son of man, behold, thou shalt put bands upon thee, and thou shalt bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. So again, that goes into what? Going out in the highways and the byways. Okay, the Lord's going to put what? Bounds on our mouths to be what? To not be able to speak, right? Because the Lord has already sealed everyone, right? And the destructions.
So try to arrest us, put
Yep.
bands upon, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. It says 26, and I will make my tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, and thou shalt be dumb, and thou shalt be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house.
Thou shalt no more be a reprover, man.
Yep.
We're not going to be out here telling you, to repent, telling you the warning forever, because during Jacob's Shoba, there's not going to be anything to prophesy about.
Yeah, with the tanks.
Yeah.
With the tanks, and then we're out here with the video with the tanks rolling around, right? It says 27,
Go ahead, bro.
but when I speak with thee, Ezekiel 3:27, but when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, thus said Yahweh Shemashai, he that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. And that's 2/3 of our people. What they are, sodist children?
Yep. And that word cowardice, which is in the definition of fearful, Revelation 21:8, but the fearful and unbelieving, Israelites who through cowardice gave way under persecutions and aposties. That word cowardice goes into a cowardice is a trait wherein excessive fear prevents an individual from taking a risk or facing danger. In the opposite of courage, as a label, cowardice indicates a failure of character in the face of a challenge. One who succumbs to cowardice is known as a coward.
Yep. And that's Esau Edom. Because he's a coward, because what does he want to do? He wants to, ultimately, he doesn't want to, come up against people that have their true power. Okay? He wants to come at these, people that don't have any, and we're just going to say it in a worldly sense, he wants to take away their arms. Okay? And what is he trying to take away from us? The Bible.
And one of the other definitions, if you look into like Webster, for cowardice is one who lacks bravery. Also that word apostasy is renounce a religion or a political belief or principle, which a lot of our people who are not of the house of David are going to do. They're going to renounce being an Israelite. They're going to throw their fringes away. When Esau Edom's coming down with great wrath and be like, nah, I wasn't out there in the highways and byways. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that goes in the First Maccabees 1.
Yep.
Yeah, where it speaks about, they had made covenant, they made, covenants with the devil, with the heathen. Okay? So this is going into, and then those people that are going to do that, this is what's going to happen. Jeremiah 15:1, then said Yahweh Shemashai unto those Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind cannot be towards his people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. So again, the Lord was speaking to Moses and Samuel. Okay?
Which is symbolic of the law and the testimony. Moses being the law and Samuel being symbolic of the prophets, the law and the prophets.
Beautiful.
And Isaiah 8:20 says, according to the law and the testimony, that they speak not according to this word is because there's no light in them.
Yep.
And you're going to have those men who don't have the light. They're going to act and be cowardice in those days. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Straight bitch up. You know, and Lord's will we be of the number that doesn't. You know.
Yeah, because again, that's the Lord. He has to put that spirit on you. That's why we're praying that we're able to endure to the end, because the Lord's gonna put that spirit on His elect to not bow down to what this beast system. Romans 11:4. There's 7,000 men that haven't bowed down to the image of Baal, which is Baal is what the Shaitan, which is ultimately what that device is you worshiping Esau Edom. So Jeremiah 15:2. And it shall come to pass, if I say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then shall tell them, thus said Yahweh Shemashai, such as for death to death, and such as for sword to sword, and such as for famine to famine, and such as for captivity to captivity. So again, captivity to captivity, FEMA camp to FEMA camp, internment camp to internment camp, famine to famine. So you might find a piece of corn, okay, so you eat that piece of corn, but now you're starving all over again. You might get shot one time, okay, and now you made it. You got the healing agent, but now famine, okay. So all these plagues, and again, people just, I had like 3 or 4 people come up to me when I was out here, right, and they said, you know, I'm not worried about dying. But again, what about the terrors of the Lord that He's going to bring forth? It's not going to be just you just die and everything's all good. That's only going to be for the elect if they have to be martyrs, where the Lord's going to put that spirit on them to be able to not you know, feel anything.
Yep.
Okay, but for the wicked, you're going to feel all that. Famine, pestilence, evils, and that's what it was saying right here. From captivity to captivity, famine to famine, sword to sword. So you got Esau with his AK-47, then you got Esau with his robot dog, and then you sword to sword, right? It says 3. It says, I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said Yahweh Shemashai, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy. So again, what have they created? What do we have in the 60s? We had the dogs. That's why a lot of our people are afraid of dogs. They had the dogs that would come after and try to attack us. Also even going back further,
the Spanish Mastiffs.
Yeah, beautiful.
The Spanish
Beautiful.
came over here.
Yep.
You know, they were trained to come after Jake. You know, the indigenous people that were over here. Then later, they used those same type of dogs, pit bulls, and so on and so forth, to come after Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know, that's where the United States police force comes from. Runaway slave patrol.
Yep.
You know,
Nothing but the slave taskmasters.
What they have.
Yep.
You know, taskmasters, and then they had dogs to chase Jake when he would try to run away from the
Yep.
plantation.
And they used to feed those dogs our babies. Okay, that goes back to the history of Ephraim. Okay, where they would rip the babies out of the lady's womb, okay, and feed it to these dogs, and all these dogs did was eat Jake. Okay.
And they would also eat slaves during slavery.
Yep.
They would do it on the ships.
Yep.
You know,
And now,
coming over here.
beautiful. And now what are they doing? They have the technology.
And then their leftovers they would throw to the sharks. You know,
Yep.
That's why the sharks will follow the slaves.
Yep.
The slave ships. Man.
Yep. Was it Sweet Jesus or something?
Yep.
The boat. Okay. And then another thing. So
Speaking of sweet,
yeah.
man,
Switching.
can't wait till this place is destroyed.
Yeah.
Man.
So just to add on to that point. Oh yeah, the dogs to tear. Okay. So what do they have? They have these robot dogs. Again, their knowledge has increased. They have the robot dogs that have grenade launchers on them, that have AK-47s on them. And what are they trained to be able to sense out Jake? That's why they want what Ancestry.com was bought by what? BlackRock. BlackRock is basically just a shell company, is a shell company for all these companies that are all ran by what? Esau Edom. And BlackRock bought into what? Ancestry.com, because you have a lot of Jake. They'll go down to Esau for help. Hey, let me find out who I am. You know what I mean? And that's been found out to be a scam. Okay? Because again, it goes back to if your spirit bear witness with our spirit. Okay? This is a spiritual thing. But anyway, they just on the left-hand side, they bought Ancestry.com so they can be able to test out your blood, just like they do. And when you're born, right? You have what the placenta, okay, which is the basically the parts of your mother, and they take that. They take that with them, and they do all sorts of studies. That's what Planned Parenthood is all about. When our people go to sacrifice to Moloch, okay, what they do is some of those babies will still be alive, okay, and what they'll do is go run tests on them, okay, so they can be able to put forth these Coca-Cola, chips, these certain things. And I'm not saying that's wicked, but what I'm saying is the things that they put inside of them is nothing but a poison, okay,
to attack a certain
people.
A certain seed line of people.
Yep.
That's Jake. This is Romans 13:4, and that's a form of the sword.
Yep. Beautiful.
And it
Sword to
reads-
sword.
Yep. This is Romans 13:4. For he is the minister of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai to thee for good. But if thou do which is evil, but if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. You know, the minister on the left-hand side. This is Sirach 9:13, and it reads, keep me, Slaki, keep thee, far from the man that hath power to kill. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death, and if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and thou walkest upon the battlements of the city.
Yep.
You know, the Lord sent us as sheep in the midst of wolves, you know?
Yep. This is Isaiah
And
10.
that man that has power to kill is Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? This is his kingdom.
Yep. He's been given what that great sword to take peace from the earth.
Yep.
Revelation 6:4. And right now we're at the stage of that, that black horse being rolled out. Okay, which is going to be judging righteousness and judging wickedness, because we're speaking about all the things that are going to happen to the wicked. Okay, far as that don't hearken to this word. Real quick, just to add on to that point, because he's not Esau. He's not going to just sit around and not use his weapon. Okay, he's not just like our blessing is to be able to prophesy.
Not the sword in vain.
Yeah, that's what I was speaking about, because the really rate on that.
There was a family
Yeah.
that was photographed, and it was an Edomite family, and they had it was a photo on their deck. I don't know if you've seen it, and they had 80% of their weapons shown, and it literally looked like I don't know if you ever played GTA 5. It literally looked like the gun rack that you can have with every single weapon on there, man.
Yeah, when you get the code and stuff.
Yeah, the code, like the cheat code. They had like 200 weapons, bro. Like big ass AKs, the big ass 30-06s, the SKSs, you know, the moderated motherfucking AKs, bro. The all black Russian joints, you know, that go from 3-round bursts. You hit the switch down, the automatic, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All them joints, man.
Yep.
And that shows you that this man is Esau, man. You know,
Yep.
because if you look up Hunter, right? Just look up Hunter. Go to images. Who pops up?
Yep.
You see Esau Edom with his 30-06 with the scope in the woods with the ghillie on, or a camouflage suit.
Yep.
You know, he's known as the cunning hunter, man.
Yep.
And he bears not the sword in vain. That was his blessing.
Yep.
You know, our blessing is the oil. You know, the understanding of the word. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Bashem Yahshai as our power. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Blesses the nation whose power is Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Because
Psalms 33 and 12.
yeah, because the Lord has given Esau the code to what that sword. Okay. You know that cheat code. So
It's perfected right now.
Yeah, and
You know
it
what I'm saying?
that goes back to Tubal Cain, as I was saying earlier, Genesis 4 and
Cain
22.
goes back to Koyan in Hebrew, which means weapon.
Yep. And what was
That
Esau
was
given?
Esau Edom's blessings.
Yep. Yeah, no, because we're added on it. Yeah. And so what is Esau in Slaki? Esau's coming in the same spirit as Kwayan, as that weapon. Okay, because he's been given with that great sword, and that great sword comes in many different variations. Because the word in the Bible, it says a lot of the times it will say the teeth, break his teeth.
Yep.
Okay, and the teeth comes when you think about your teeth, you know, as far as in your mouth, right? It has many different variations. As far as, you know, you have what the canine teeth, you know, you have your molars, you have different things that are used for basically for different things. And the Lord is what using Esau to bring out his different teeth on those that won't hearken to the word, those that don't come back to the word, and that goes through what, again, the famine, because he has control of the food. He has control of what these different camps. Okay, real quick.
Got a precept to back you up.
Bring it up.
This is Psalms 58 and 6, and it reads, break their teeth, O Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, in their mouth, and break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Let them run away as waters, which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be cut. Let them be as cut in pieces.
Yep. And we're praying that this devil is able to melt away through that fervent heat, melted into the ground. Okay, just like Lot's wife, that pillar of salt. Okay, that's what how we want to see what Esau Edom. Now we know that the remnant of Esau Edom is going to be in those clefts of the rocks. Okay.
Military bunkers.
Yep, they're going to be under the bunkers, which we already we brought this out last week. Cheyenne Mountain. Okay, is one of Cheyenne. I remember Cheyenne Mountain is one of the places, and that's just one that we see that's just on everyday just on Google. But we know there's way more because all of Babylon the Great has all these different, I think they're called dumbs, where they're all underground, basically different places that they have, underground roads, if you want to say that.
Cities, basically.
Yeah, underground cities. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, and what are they doing in those underground cities? They're being exposed that they're doing what guerrilla warfare training. Okay, one of them is Operation Gotham Shield. Okay, where they're over there training. Now they're not underground, but they're over there training and in the dark with night vision to be able to come into people's houses and be able to take them out. Okay, and be able to lay down all resistance. Anybody that's coming against this word.
Also, they're transporting explosives. I shared a video. They're transporting live ordnance, which is military talk for unexploded explosives. Bombs, so on and so forth. And one of the other operations of Gotham Shield, I believe. I think that may not be Gotham Shield. Gotham Shield. I think it's Gotham Shield. Is to type it up on your phone. I want to make sure it's correct. I want to say it's correct. I want to make sure it's correct. Is the operation to prepare basically, or to get ready for a
psyop
of a nuclear explosion. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they have all those military reserves, National Guard people, Boston, Massachusetts, training out in New York, and under night vision. And what are they doing? They're transporting explosives, man.
Yep. Yep. That's going into that sword being furbished to give to the slayer. Because who's executing that? I saw on the comment board, Shalom, brother. Psalm 17. Where it speaks about disappoint him, oh Lord, disappoint that sword. Okay, because
hide me from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Yeah, let me get that.
Psalm 17 and 13.
Let me get this one real quick, because this is just to edify again, saying who is the sword, who's bringing forth, who's the sword of Yahweh. Okay, on the left hand side, Isaiah 10 and 5. O Assyrian, thy rod of my anger and thy staff of thy hand is my indignation. So again, that hammer, indignation of what? Righteous anger. The modern day Assyrian is what? Esau, Edom. It says 6, I will send against him a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath I will give him charge to take spoil and to take prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Okay, and that's what's going to be happening. We already see that as far as these police killing our people in the streets. Okay, but they're going to come in with that sword. Okay, I want to get this the definition for spoil.
Spoil is like spoils of war. One of the definitions is booty.
Yep, and because what do they want? They they want that too. But a treasure. But they want. But see, slaves. But that goes. Spoil goes in the booty, which goes into actual slaves.
Yeah, spoils of
war. Because that's what you get. You get whatever that they have.
There's a brand of chips I used to eat at work called Pirate's Booty. Pirate's Booty. You know what I'm saying? Which goes in like spoils of war.
Yep.
Which we took when Jake would go into war with different nations. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Actually, the Lord commanded Moses to actually go kill and take the spoils of war certain nations we went to war with, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what it happens when you just like we read that too, 1 Ezra 4, okay, where it speaks about if the Lord tells us to go out and kill, we're gonna kill. If the Lord goes out and says go out and prophesy, we're gonna prophesy. The Lord works on your mind, Jeremiah. Not Jeremiah. Job 33 and 15. He works on your mind and seals the instruction. So this word, the definition for spoil, just in the Google definition, it says diminish or destroy the value of the quality of. Okay. It says second one, harm the character of someone, especially a child, by being too indulgent. So they want to harm your character by what? Having these devices put in you. Okay. And spoiling, when the brother brought out booty, that goes because true rulership is actually having slaves.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
For you, Numbers 31. This is the law. It says Israel wars with the Midianites, and this is what the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward, thou shalt be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord of Midian. Every tribe of 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall ye send to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to war 1,000 of every tribe, them of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to the war with holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites, as the Lord Yahweh Shai commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. When they slew the king's Midian, besides the rest of them that were slain, named Evi, Slakin. Yep. And Recham, and Zur, and Reah, and Reba, and the kings of Midian, and Balaam, also the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives, and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle, and all their flocks, and all their goods.
Yep. And who are those spoils going? Slakia. Who are those spoils going to? Okay, Yahweh Shema Shai, right? Yahweh Shai, and what? The elect's going to be what?
And
Joint
later in
heirs.
this chapter, if you keep on reading, the Lord also commands Moses to have the men kill all the women who knew men, who had husbands, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And to keep, the younger ones to have as wives for later.
Yep.
Spoils of war, man. And that's also going to happen, when Yahweh Shai cracks the sky, and we get to have our little spoils of war. Not little spoils of war, big spoils of war, better yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So this is Psalms.
Because it says we shall wash our feet in the blood of the wicked. That's the angels are going to come down and get busy, but we're actually going to be allowed to get our two bows in as well, man. We're going to be allowed to, have our fun as well. Get our kicks and stomps in as well. Lord's will be of that number, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the spoils of that are going to go unto the remnant. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That speaks about that in Isaiah 33 and 18, where it speaks about we meditate terrors on the Lord.
Meditate terror.
Yep. If you could get that, brother. Isaiah 33 and 18. Yeah, and I'll read this out. This is Psalms 17 and 8. Keep me as the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Okay, and who's the apple of Yahweh Shema Shai's eye? The elect. Okay, all of Israel, but ultimately the elect. Okay, because his eyes are what shining, or eyes are what upon what the elect. Slakia. It says 9. From the wicked that oppress me, from the deadly enemies who could compass me about. And aren't they compassing about? Okay, they are what creating a siege. They're cutting off the food supply, cutting off the water. Okay, cutting off what the for you to be able to even work, right? It says 10. They are enclosed in their own and fat with their mouth. They speak proudly. So Klaus Schwab is speaking very proudly. Okay, because what he said, you will own nothing. Yep, you will own nothing and be happy. Yuval Noah Herrera is speaking about
Kill Gates.
Yeah,
He's
that.
speaking proudly as
Yep,
well.
speaking very. When the second one comes out, they will know. Yeah, and that's speaking about what that monkey business that's coming out, and they're gonna keep putting out those pestilences, okay, until ultimately that 5G and that 6G happens, okay? Because what they have a thing called the Georgia Guidestones, which is what they want to depopulate the
Which
earth.
they took down recently, right
Yep.
after CERN came out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And
They
that's
took down the Georgia Guidestones, and then right after that, literally a couple days later, the monkey business rolls out.
yep.
You can't make this shit up, man.
And then over there in Rome, it was burning down. A lot of those places were on fire over there in Rome. So a lot of that was actually very spiritual because this is Rome 2.0.
Yep.
And we're praying that this place gets hit with those missiles. That this place
It's
gets
going-
hit
it's
with
gonna
that.
get hit with
It's
those
good.
missiles.
Well, it's going to, but
pray
we
that it
wanted to
happens now.
today.
We want it to happen
Tonight.
next week,
Tonight.
but there are certain things that have to happen.
Yeah. So
You know,
prophecy
the-
has to be forecast.
The Lord told Ezra not to hasten above the times.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? First Ezra's, second Ezra's 4,
The second Ezra's-
36,
yep.
37.
The Lord's not going to stir it up.
Yep.
Okay. These
Until
things.
the set measure be fulfilled.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the the end of the Gentile rulership. You know what I'm saying? For
Yep.
wickedness had exceedingly polluted the earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. Well, he still has to do a few more things. You know, he has to come down with great wrath.
Yep.
He's starting to speak like a dragon, but he actually has to come in with the spiritual demon Satan on him.
Yep.
And that was a lesson that was done by Elder Makiala, Slakia Makiala, of the LA camp. You know, what are you going to do when Esau Edom comes in with the spiritual demon Satan on him? You know what I'm saying? He did that last year when they made the announcement of the so-called aggressive black Hebrew Israelites. They made the congressional meeting. They had the congressional meeting where they're actually talking about Hebrew Israelites, so on and so forth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's right after they declared domestic terrorism, the Department of Homeland Security, as the #1 threat. You know, he made the lesson. What are you going to do when Esau Edom comes in with the spiritual demon Satan on him? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what he's going to come. That's what he's going to come down with. Esau Edom is going to have the spiritual demon Satan on him, man, when he comes down with great wrath. You know, and we're hastening the day because he has to come and do that and do certain things in the earth and push a device and go out there and make war with all those other nations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it goes into Matthew 24. It speaks about the end, wars and rumors of wars.
Yep.
Okay, but the end is not yet, and that goes into what that mandatory device being implemented around the four corners of the earth, and an ointment in sense. And we're seeing the infrastructure of that of their device. Okay, and what are they doing? All that the hot sauce is nothing but a prelude, where they have these different places where you go down to Egyptian for help. What they're doing is they're setting up these places because they know people are slow. Okay, straight up, they're just slow and they're blind, and they just want to be able to. I just want to live my life. You know what I mean? I just want to be a slave. Okay, and the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is raising up men that have that royal mentality, have that king that ruler class mentality. Okay, have that rulership mentality, and we don't want to be under Esau Edom. We don't want to be under wearing suits every day. You know, falling after heathen customs.
Paying taxes.
You know, paying taxes. We're setting up Christmas trees.
You work at an office, you have to say hi, sir.
Yeah,
how you doing, sir?
yeah, wearing a tacky suit on Easter. You know, I want to do that shit. I want to glorify Yahweh Shem Shai. Because then, we want to rule because through Yahweh Shem Shai, through Yahweh Shai, we're able to have rulership. We're able to have peace. Okay, we're able to have our enemies in subjection. Okay, and if you don't have that mindset, then that's not an elect mindset. Because when you put on as the elect, when you put on these scriptures, you're supposed to have that mindset of a ruling class mentality. Apostle Gabar always says this, you know, when you read these scriptures, you got to see yourself there. Whether it's in the kingdom, seeing Esau destroyed, you know. So, again, that all goes into believing in the report. Okay?
Right to it. This is Luke 19:27, and it reads, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me.
Yep.
You know, because the elect, Lord's will we be at that number, are going to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. So if you don't want Yahweh Shai to rule, that means you don't want to rule.
Yep.
You don't want to rule. You don't want Yahweh Shai to rule. You don't want us to rule. Then you're just a casualty of war.
Yep. You are a coward.
Cowardice.
Cowardice. Yeah, you are a cowardice.
Yep.
Because because you're trusting in Esau.
We brought out cowardice. That's what the word goes into in Revelation 21:8. The fearful goes into that word cowardice. So that's one of the definitions. If you go into the lexicon at the very bottom.
Yep. And that also just means that you don't want rulership. Because again, a king has to put in work, whatever that it may be. Yahweh Shai had
a king gets groomed for the throne.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Like,
yeah.
Like if you watch
Beautiful.
movies, like for example, I like to reference Game of Thrones a lot. When you had a king, you know, talking to his son, he would be grooming him for royalty and rulership. Well, that's what Yahweh Shai is doing with these scriptures. You know, through this walk, you know, through the straight gate, he's grooming us for royalty and rulership by seeing the earth being ran by a wicked oppressor. So we know not how the world's supposed to be ran. Also, the knowledge of good and evil. You know, through the trials and tribulations we have to go through, him perfecting us, you know, seeing our people through, you know, seeing that that's not how our people are supposed to be, you know.
Yep.
That's a part of prophecy that they're like that right now, but in the kingdom they're not going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And being under wicked rulership, you know, the wise words of Elder High Priest Jaquan, you know what I'm saying? We had to witness the earth being ran in complete wickedness, you know what I'm saying, to, I don't want to butcher his words, you know what I'm saying, but to, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. We had to learn wickedness so we can be able to come back to righteousness.
Yep.
Okay? And that was one of our elders, okay, that laid down his life for this word, for this truth, so we can be able to have the understanding to today. Okay, which you see the head apostles at Great Millstone, they reference those men. They don't have to do that, okay, but they do it because again they have a humble spirit, so they're able to reference our elders, so we can be able to pay homage to them. right? And that's a sign of respect. That's our heritage.
2 Peter 3 and 13, and it reads, "Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness."
Yep, and that's what we're seeking, righteousness, which means that we have to see all this wickedness.
Which, if you read up, it's talking about the destruction that's going to happen for us to get that.
Okay.
You know, 2 Peter 3:10 on down. You know what I'm saying? 3 and 9 on down. You know.
Let me get this. This is to finish this out, and then what we, and by this word, we're disappointing that sword, okay? Because when you preach this word, now you have a hedge around you, okay? It speaks about that in Psalms 34 and 7. Okay, those that fear Yahweh Shema Shai, the angels encamp around them, roughly paraphrasing.
Deliver them.
Yeah, deliver them. And that whole chapter, when you go down, it's speaking about deliverance of the the elect, right? Psalm 17 and 10. They enclose in their eyes and fat with their mouth. They speak proudly. So again, going into their proud speech, they're saying, Pedo Joe was speaking about how he has to. We want to be ahead of the curve as far as the New World Order. Right, 11. Yep. Speaking of
the chip leaders of the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So.
And Nancy Pelosi, she was out there in Taiwan, and they made a big fiasco about that. You know, because the Chinese are going to bomb on her, and this and that, and this and that.
Yeah.
She was out there because what does Taiwan do? They lead the world in chip production.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She was trying to get inside trading information. You know, trying to get the inside scoop. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Semiconductors.
Yep.
Okay, which is what the AI technology, the transhumanism, where they're able to track you, because everything is ran basically of artificial intelligence. Okay, and again, like the brother said, she's doing inside trading. She's part owner in all these different businesses that are be able to track you. Because also another thing, Carl Schwab said, we are stakeholders. Okay, you have shareholders, which is just a modern day, everyday person that you see in the world, as far as your stocks. Then you have stakeholders, which means they already know what they're doing. They have inside information, and these are the elites of this world. These are the kings and princes. These are the ones that met up in those Davos meetings. Okay, because these are the ones that are in the background. Now, some of them we see as their cult of personalities, but you have these elites. These are the Edomites. These are the ones that are really in control. These are the ones that are pulling the strings of these cult of personalities, these different kings and princes, pulling the strings of Carl Schwab, Yuval Noah Herrera.
Yeah.
Okay?
These are the ones who Yahweh Shema Shai told us to set our face against and prophesy against. Because the average everyday doctor, what's that? Almost said Dr. Pepper. Jake drinks shot.
Dr. Phil, I don't know why.
The average everyday Mountain Dew drinking, Bud and Bush Light drinking, American Spirit smoking, raw steak eating Edomite. You're just extra goyim for slavery.
Yep.
Goyim,
Yep.
which is cattle,
Yep.
These are the people who were actually sent to prophesy against, man. Because the Edomites in Babylon the Great, you're not going to be in the deep underground military bunkers unless you work for those guys.
Yep.
You want to get Revelation 6 and 15, brother?
Let me get this. Let me finish out.
Because those are going to be the ones who get dug out of the mountains, dug out of the deep underground military bunkers and thrown in slavery. The average everyday Edomite, you're going to be destroyed when the nuclear missiles come, man.
This is Psalm 17 and 11. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes, bowing down to the earth. Okay, showing you that they're at a high stance. And what do they do? They have set those satellites. Okay, they're watching us through the internet.
They set their nest amongst
Yeah,
the stars.
and at that same time they set their nest up there. Those satellites was the same time that Abba Bivens, which is Elijah reincarnated, which was John the Baptist reincarnated. Okay, he was in 1969, 1970. The same time they set their nest on high was the same time the Great Awakening, where he started to teach on the highways and the byways. Now he came out before that in 1960s, right? But that's when the Great Awakening was 1970, right? That you see the men of the Lord, that great millstone, and then we have labored in their, came in their lots, roughly paraphrasing, okay, and they're compassing us about, right, sitting from their lofty estate, the clefts of the rocks, okay, because of that goes into their pride. Their pride has reached a point, okay, and then we know that Yahweh Shema Shai, they have a bounds they cannot cross, okay. It says 12. This is Psalm 17 and 12. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as we're a young lion lurking in secret places. So again, a young lion is very, very ambitious, very ready for war. Okay, and that's how Esau Edom is. He's ready to engage in what this all-out war, because he's tired of speaking with what his mouth, because he doesn't have any words to speak. He's only a draconian. He's what, a caveman, a cave dweller. Okay, so Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh Shemashai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, and that's what we should be praying on, meditating on, constantly. Okay, praying that the Lord is what disappoints that sword, which we know to be Esau Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man, okay, of this world, which are the Edomites, right? You Idumeans, okay, which is Amalek.
Beginning with the wicked elite, the 13
Yep.
elite banking companies who run the world.
Yep, that's starting at the head, because again, we're like the brother said, we're not going after you every day, Bud Light, Marlboro smoking, with a cut-off shirt wearing Edomites, because you Edomites are going to be coming against your own government, because you realize that your so-called white supremacy is no more. You're not getting any more what do I want to say, gifts. Okay,
This is Psalms 74 and 13. I'll read 12 as well. For Yahweh Bashem Yahshai is my king of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Psalm 74 and 13. Thou didst divide the sea by the strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Esau Edom, the old serpent,
Real
who's
quick.
starting to speak like a dragon, man. He's starting to speak, draconian, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'll back you up. Sirach 25 and 15. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy.
One love. Love you.
Here, you step over here.
Step over here.
It's live. Damn. Why that's so disrespectful?
And that's why the Lord has to come and exterminate this place.
He's drunk, and then you got the police right there in the background.
And that's why he's doing it.
That's why he's doing it.
One love. Jesus Christ, right?
First prayer is loaded. As soon as they get ready.
And that's why we got to cut the head of the serpent, because the head of the serpent lets these these people in this world just be idiots when they should just be executed on sight. Okay.
This is Psalm 74 and 12. For Yahweh Bashem Yahshai is my king of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou didst divide the sea by the strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the head of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Going into Revelation, the 20th chapter. And, and it reads, Revelation 20 and 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Talking about Esau Edom. And Esau Edom was bound for 1,000 years, into the caves of Georgia, Russia, the Caucasus Mountains. And after 1,000 years, he was loosed from his pit for a short season, And we're still in that season right now. But that season's coming to an end. And how is Leviathan, that dragon, being broken into pieces through this word,
All right, real quick, I got Revelation 6 and 15.
Yep.
And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains,
Wicked elite.
and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Yep, lamb. That's talking about our Lord Yahweh Shai. Get the next one, brother.
It says, For the great day of his wrath is come,
Yep.
and who shall be able to stand?
Who shall be able to stand? None but the elect, And they're going to be standing, getting beamed up, Out on Rathazal, we be of that number.
Yep. Speaks about that in Revelation.
Yep. Proverbs 25 and 7 is better to hear. It's better to hear come up hither. Revelation 11 and 12. You know what I'm saying?
This is Jeremiah 25 and 14. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. So again, going into Esau, Edom, forming that crafty council, Psalms 83, the Moabites, the Hagarenes, the Philistines, okay, Tyrus, okay, Zion,
Yep.
okay, all
Ammon,
you,
Moab,
yep,
Ishmael, you know what I'm saying?
yep, the hit list, what is that in Amos? You know, it speaks about all the nations that are going to be punished.
Jeremiah 25, Psalms 83.
Yep, I'm in Jeremiah 25 right now.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremiah 25 and 15.
Yep.
For thus said Yahweh Shemashai of Israel unto me, take thy wine cup of fury at my hand, and cause all the nations whom I send to thee to drink it. So again, what's that cup? That goes into what? The slavery that they put on our people, the oppression they put on our people. Okay, the destruction that's going to be destroying all the foundations of their actual places. Now we know not the whole earth is going to be destroyed, but definitely Babylon the Great is going to be a wasteland. Okay, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be nothing but what? Foul creatures and jackals, all right, that are going to be in this place. Okay, and it says forever it will be burned, but that's just a certain point, a certain period of time. Okay, and then also you have what the motherland over there in Jerusalem. That place is going to be what? Burned down. Okay, and then who's going to help? Who's going to be building that? Esau, Edom, when he's in what? Drinking that double cup of what? Slavery. Okay, be beat with that rod of iron.
This is Psalm 75 and 8 to back up on that point. And it reads, I'll get 7. For Yahweh Shem Yahshai is the judge. He put it down one and set it up another.
That's showing you can't have. There's not going to be two kings.
Yep.
Okay, there's not going to be two kings. Esau is in the twilight, which is the decline of his kingdom. Okay, which is raising up the kingdom of what? Yahawashi.
I got one real quick. This is Sirach.
Yeah, I was going to say Sirach 10.
This is true.
Yeah, you got it.
This
Bring it out.
is Sirach 10.
I kept thinking of that, like just meditating on it.
I'll get 4.
Yeah, because there's a transition of power, right?
Yep.
Bring it out, brother.
Yep, Sirach 10 and 4, you can break it down.
Okay.
The power of the earth is in the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable.
Okay, and that goes into Yahawashi, but also what you have the elect that are going to be what? Joint heirs and rulership. Okay, and that's going to be the one that what's profitable, because what Esau, what he does is he brings forth barren, which means nothing but destruction, nothing but death and hell. He's known as death and hell. Okay, because man on man brings forth what? Nothing.
Well,
Okay,
that's why he was sent to the bottomless pit. Going back into Cain,
Yep.
you know, the fruit of the earth doesn't yield his fruit unto him.
Yep.
You know, that's why he has to use GMOs and so on and so forth, man.
Yep. And then
You know?
again, and then going into their seeds.
Yep.
Okay, they cross-contaminate the seeds, and what does it bring forth? Monsanto's, which brings forth what? Death, which brings forth what? Ulcer or cancer.
Also, take it one step further. His children, what do they produce? Death. He
Oh, yeah.
produces seed in the earth that
Yeah.
go around the earth producing nothing but death,
Yep.
wickedness, lies, abominations.
Could-
And also,
Yeah.
take it one step
If they
further.
be multiplied.
Yeah, they multiply for the sword, and Edomites are having a hard time repopulating. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, did I?
It's all good.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Okay,
This
sorry.
is Sirach 10 and 8, and it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yep. Because again, read that the physician cut off the lung disease. I think
Yep.
that's the same chapter.
Sirach 10 and 10.
Yep. Yeah, because that's where the kingdom is being translated. Because everything they got was through rape, rob, and murdering.
I'll get 9 as well. Why is earth and ashes proud? A characteristic of Esau. He's
Yep.
proud. He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Yep.
Habakkuk 2 and 5. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, which he also is covetous.
Yeah, and what does he want? He wants that birthright back.
Yep.
Okay.
For such as one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die.
Bring out that next.
Yep.
What is it? What is he gonna get?
For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get, Esau. Okay. You low-level Edomites, you're gonna what be with the dust. Okay, you're gonna be what it says you shall be what some shall be beaten to powder. Okay, going into what the destruction, right? And that physician, which is Yahawashi, the physician that's healing the sick. Okay, cleansing us of our sins because we were sick. Our whole head was sick, right? We didn't know who we were. We were out there, but now the Lord is what raising up men
Says
to.
those that come against us, the Lord Yahushua, roughly paraphrasing, shall be grinded to powder.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's in Yeah, I got
in the
that. That's an
Gospels.
apocrypha.
It's also in the Apocrypha.
Oh,
I'll get
okay,
that.
good.
This is 2 Ezra 16 and 8, and it reads, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and he that, Slakia, this is Sirach, 2 Ezra 16 and 11, Slakia, the
I
Lord
do that
shall
too.
threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence.
Yep.
It also says that in the gospel it says, they should be grind. You want to get it, grind to powder. Just type it in your phone, brother.
My phone died.
Your phone died.
Yeah.
Your phone alive.
Yeah. What is it?
Grind to powder. It should be grinded to powder. Just type in grind to powder and it'll pop up. I think it's in Matthew. It might be in Luke.
Grind to powder. Matthew's 21 and 44.
Yep.
You want me to bring it out?
Okay.
Con. Yeah, so this, the kingdom shall be taken from one nation, bringing forth. Oh, yeah, con. Let me let's see. Matthew's 21 and.
The kingdom shall be
Yeah,
taken.
yeah. Matthew's 21, yeah, right on point. That's the spirit. Matthew's 21 and 43,
Yep.
and this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, "Therefore I say unto you, the kingdom of Yahweh shall be taken from you and given to a nation, bringing forth the fruits thereof." 44, "And whoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder."
Yep. That great millstone. Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? This is Daniel 2 and 44, and it reads, because we mentioned it earlier, let's just get it. Daniel 2 and 44, and it reads, And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be left. I'm tripping. Slack it. I'm reading this is Daniel 2 and 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Yep, that's the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shai. It's going to stand forever. The only kingdom that's going to be forever. Okay? Right? So going back to, let's see, Jeremiah 25 and 16. "And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then I took a cup out of Yahweh Shema Shai's hand," which is Yahweh Shai the hand, "and made all the nations to drink until Yahweh Shema Shai had sent me, to wit Jerusalem and cities of Judah and kings thereof and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and an astonishment and a hissing and a curse, as it is this day." Okay?
I don't think I finished Psalm 75 and 8. Let me finish.
Yeah, bring it out.
This is Psalm 75 and 8. And it reads, For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red, and it is full of mixture, and he poureth out the same with the dregs thereof. All the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them.
Yep. So again, Asia, or well, the Moabites, Chinese,
Yep.
which it goes into, this goes into 2nd Ezra's 16, where it speaks about Asia. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, because you thought that you were going to be able to have next, but you're following the same path as Esau, Edom, because you are a heathen, right? So this is I'm going to skip around. This is Jeremiah 25 and 19. "Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and the princes, all his people." Okay, and what modern day Pharaoh is what Esau, Edom, as that speaks about in Romans 9. It says, "And all that mingled people on the kings of the land of Uz," okay, which goes into Egypt, right? "And the kings of the land of the Philistines," okay, which goes into what is that? The Philistines is the Hamites, okay, okay. So which goes into the so-called Africans, right? Okay, yeah, Tyre and Zidon, yeah, Philistines and Ashkelon and Ajith, Acharon, and the remnant of Ashdod.
Yep,
So
those who are in the Holy Land right now.
beautiful.
At Amalek. And you have also Arabs in the Holy Land. You have a mixed multitude in the Holy Land. Just like you have in Babylon the Great. You have those small hatters, they invite Cush out there. And Moab.
Yep.
They can all be Jacob, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But anybody, but as soon as we say we're Jacob, then it's a problem.
That's what.
And also, where are the other 11 tribes at then? You have some of those guys out there. They say they're Levi, right? And it's not really Levi. It's Loya, which is in the Hebrew. Loya means law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so again, going into 21, Edom, it says, just like in Jeremiah 25 and 21, Edom and Moab, okay?
Moab.
Yep,
Running mates.
yep. It says, "In the children of Ammon," okay?
Called Japanese.
Yep. "And the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of Isles."
Tyre and Zidon. Those who helped to forward the affliction and to sell the children of Judah into slavery to the Grecians. Joel the 3rd chapter.
Okay.
You know, along with the Arabs, man. You know,
Yep.
the Towheads, man. You know what I'm saying?
And that goes into Psalms 83, which you were saying about.
They have taken crown
Yeah,
and
yeah,
counsel against thy
Tyree. But this is speaking about this one.
Also,
This one says Tyrus, which is Esau, Edom, but it's the
Yeah,
same.
It's the same thing.
The same thing. Okay, but it's just because I misread it. Let me read it again. And all the kings
Also,
of Tyrus.
If you read in the Apocrypha, it said that way too. Tyrus and Zidon.
Yeah, Khan. Because actually, that was the land that was over there in that land, and then when they came over here, it's the same
Now, in
same
Psalm,
concept.
In Psalms 83, Elam, or Japheth aren't mentioned. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because during
we got him right here.
Yeah, because during the Persian Mede Empire, they allowed us to rebuild the temple.
Yep.
But
First
they're
Ezra
mentioned
4.
in Jeremiah 25, also Jeremiah 30 and 16. You want to get Jeremiah 30 and 16, buddy?
Khan. And so,
Because all those nations that helped forward the affliction had their dirty, slimy, greasy hands on us are going to go into captivity, man.
Khan. So skipping down to 24, and the king and all the kings of Arab and all the kings of the Mingo people that dwell in the desert. Okay, so all you Palestinians, all you over there, you know, you have what is that place called? I just saw there's some Jake women over there.
And
When they
Arab
built
is
their
not
own
a
land.
true race. Arab, what it means is mixed.
Yeah.
Because you
Mingled
have-
is.
Yeah, because Arab, what it means is mixed in the form of you have Edomites, who a lot of those Saudi princes are and those oil princes are.
Yep.
They actually go back to Edom.
Yep.
Esau crept his way in there. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yep.
like he crept his way into the Herodian dynasty.
Yep.
You know, Heron, those guys that were actually reigning and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Khan.
Just like he crept his way in our shit,
Yep.
he crept his way in Ishmael shit, man. Because
Yep.
you have Edomites out there, you have Ishmaelites out there, you got Elamites out there, and then you also have Hamites out there. You know what I'm saying? Amongst the Arab people, you know what I'm saying? All claiming to be Muslims, which is not a nationality. That's a false religion, man. You know?
Yep. And that's why it says right here. It says, "In the kings of Zimri and all the kings of Elam."
Yep,
Okay,
Elam.
and all the kings of the
The red
Medes.
dots.
Yep. It says,
Elam, they were the Persians, you know what I'm saying? And the Medes were the Japhetic people, you know what I'm saying? Japhet, the
Okay.
Persian Mede Empire, that was Elam and Japhet. And they're mentioned right here, but they're
Yep.
not mentioned in Psalms 83.
beautiful. It says 26, "And all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king Shishak shall drink after them." So again, of the north, which is what? Babylon the Great. Okay, so then all these kings, again, in the Davos meetings, okay, the WEF meetings, these Bilderberg meetings, okay, these are all these different nations
Those who are
that,
reigning with the beast and hour, you know what I'm saying?
yep, yeah, those that are what are sleeping with the whore.
Yep.
Okay, they're all gonna come out that they all have the same disease. Okay, and the physician is what gonna ultimately put down that destroy that gonna cut off that long disease. Okay, which is
Slay the
Esau.
dragon and the bitch.
Yeah, which is the Esau Edom. They both gotta go. They're renegades. Okay, they're renegade hoes. You know what I mean? 'Cause they won't follow, you know, Yahweh Shema Shai.
Toss-ups.
Yep. 27. It says, "Therefore, thus said Yahweh Shema Shai of hosts." Yeah, right. So that word "hosts" is of means armies. "Of Yahweh of Israel, drink ye and be drunken and spew and fall and rise no more, because the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if thou refuse to take thy cup in thy hand to drink, that thou say unto them, thus said Yahweh Shema Shai of armies, you shall certainly drink." So again, that goes into Jeremiah 50 and 22, where it speaks about the Lord is going to let out his armory, okay, to be able to come upon the nations. And that goes into all these different nations. Those are the Lord's army, okay, and ultimately going into the Archangel Michael. Okay, the chariots of fire that are going to be upon this place, because this place is going to be destroyed in an hour.
Also those missiles.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the
Spirit
spirit.
the Spirit of the Lord is going to be in those missiles. None of them is going to miss their target. You know?
Yep. 29. "For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city, which is called by my name, and you should be utterly unpunished. And you shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, said Yahweh Shema Shai of hosts." So again, that goes into Joel 3 and 9. The Lord is telling these other nations to put up their swords, or put up their agriculture, okay, and bring forth their weaponry, okay, and prepare for war, and Yahweh Shaphat, okay, which is over there in the Mediterranean Sea on the western side of Syria, okay, which they're going to be fighting over ultimately that oil, okay, but that's where Yahweh Shema Shai is bringing them, where they're going to be ultimately they're going to try to fight against Yahawashi and the angels and the chariots, okay, which is called Armageddon, which means what? The valley of troops, okay? And that this war is being prepared right now. And right now we're in that spiritual war, far as out here on the highways and the byways, okay, gearing up, right? 30, therefore prophesy thus against them with all, yeah, so prophesy against them, okay, that's what we should be doing, occupied in prophecy, okay? Therefore prophesy thou against them of all these words, saying to them, Yahweh Shemashai shall roar from on high and utter his voice from a holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon the habitation, and he shall give shout as they tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. Speaks about that in Isaiah 63. Also Isaiah 34 and 5, where it speaks about the Lord is prepared what? A wine press. Okay, which you go into that wine and you stepping upon it, that's going to be all the bloodshed. 2nd Ezra 5 and 1 speaks about there shall be what? Many, there should be mass deaths.
I got that for you. This is Isaiah 34 and 1, and it reads, come ye nations to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
So that, yo, that's a warrant, that's a roll call right there.
Yep.
For, you know what I mean? We read the roll call for us in Jeremiah 25, and the Lord, that's because we're supposed to prophesy to our people, okay, letting them know who they are, but also giving the judgment to these other heathen nations, letting them know that they're going in subjection, they're being put down, and our Lord Yahweh Shemashai is coming upon the whole earth, okay? And he's coming with what that, again, that wine press, which is Malachi 10, or Slakia, Matthews 10 and 34. He's coming with what? That great sword, okay? He's not coming back as a meek and lowly body. He's coming back with the angelic force. Daniel's 12 and 1, where it speaks about the time of trouble like never before, okay?
This is Isaiah 47, and I'll get 1 down to 3. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And the reason why this place is called the virgin daughter of Babylon in this precept is because this place hasn't been touched by hardcore warfare. You know, what's coming to this place compared to the French American wars, the Spanish American wars, the British American wars, is playtime compared to what's really coming to this place, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is nuclear destruction. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Serious, son, brother?
Yep. Which is going to be what? The waster that's built to destroy.
Yep.
That what the, was that Oppenheimer?
And this is going to be the cleanup right here.
Yep,
You know?
that's the cleanup crew. That's the cherry on top right there, the chariot.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's get this. Joel 3 and 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for thy violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. You know?
Yep. And that's your that's the dregs of the cup. That's the double cup right there. Okay.
This is Isaiah 47 and 2. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. And this hail, these rivers of living water are sweeping away the refuge of lies. And Esau Edom cannot hide it. He cannot hide himself no more. This truth is making Esau Edom bare. You know? And then shall that wicked be revealed? Well, the wicked is being revealed at an all-time high. You know, his people are telling him, you know, he's starting to be exposed left and right, and he has no place to hide, and also nothing to do but what we're telling him he's going to do. It's written in the scriptures.
Yep.
You know? This is Isaiah 47 and 3, and it reads, Isaiah 47 and 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. I will not meet thee as a man.
Yeah, so uncover real quick, just go back to that, uncover the locks, okay? How are the locks being picked? By this word, okay? Because Yahawashi has what? The key to what? Of all their deep, dark secrets that they've been doing. That's why their pedophilia is being exposed, okay? And this whore, which is Babylon the Great, is her skirts being lifted up, and what is being seen? All the diseases that she has, okay? All the atrocities that she's done, okay? And Esau Edom is what? Being exposed. And our Lord Yahawashi is coming back with that great sword, coming back with his glory. Okay, when it speaks about that in John 12 and 28, where it speaks about Yahweh, it says that Yahweh, or it says our Father, and that's Yahawashi speaking. He said, "Are you going to glorify that name again?" And he's speaking about Egypt, and he said, "Yeah, yes, yeah, I'm going to glorify it again." Okay, which is ultimately how does his name get glorified? Through the judgment that he's put on these different kingdoms. Okay, and he's raising up the kingdom that's going to be forever, which is the kingdom of what Yashala, right? That's going to be ran by what Yahawashi, the King of Kings, Lord of Hosts, under the tabernacle of David, and the men on down, and they're going to be what in order.
This is Exodus 9 and 15, and it reads, "For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth." And this is Exodus 9 and 16. "And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, to show in thee my power, that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As yet exalted thou thyself against my people, that thou will not let them go."
Yep.
And that's modern day Pharaoh's mentality, Esau Edom's mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He's exalting himself as the eagle, you know, and for this cause has Yahweh Bashim Yahshai raised Esau Edom up, so he can declare his name throughout all the earth.
Yeah, it speaks about that Romans 9.
Romans 9
Yeah, he was fitted for wrath and destruction. He's a ticking time bomb, and he's waiting to, and he's ready to explode. Okay, he's at his last little line of the lighting stick, right? Of his what's that? Job 18, of his tabernacle being lit. Okay, and it's about to explode. Right, with the
light of his tabernacle.
Yeah, Job 18 and 5. Yeah, because when you go, you light a firework or whatever, and you're at that last point before it's about to explode, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're in the twilight of Esau Edom's queendom. Okay.
Yep. And it reads Job 18 and 5, and it reads, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be darkness. It's like it. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him."
Yep. So his rulership's going to be put out. It speaks about that in real quick, 2nd Ezra 6.
Real quick, Job 18 and 14. "His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors."
Yeah, Yahawashi. Okay, the king of all terrors, ultimately bringing them to Yahweh, but Yahweh is giving all power to Yahawashi, which is known as what? The destroyer. 2nd Ezra 6 and 27, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched." Okay, and this word is quenching this place. Okay, putting Esau Edom's kingdom out, bringing in a transition of power. It says 28, as
also
for
giving life unto the elect.
Yep, beautiful. Yeah,
This word is life. This is life unto the elect, and it's also death to everybody outside the elect. You know.
it
For
says
the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai would threaten, who would not be utterly beaten to powder of his presence.
beautiful. It says 2nd Ezra 6 and 28. As for faith, okay, this is all about we're faith based. You know, they say they're coming after the faith based people, right?
We believe in the whole world.
Yep.
You know, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Spiritual power. You know, us being raised. You know what I'm saying, to rulership. You know, we believe that this man's gonna come down with the MOT to the beat. You know what I'm saying? We believe the whole role, man. You know what I'm saying? The Abba Bivens was Elijah, you know, and John the Baptist reincarnated. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, because I'm gonna get that after. It says this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 28. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Okay, and what the elect is being declared. That is that fruit, that fruit of that vine. Okay, from the vine is Yahawashi. Okay, and through that faith, because it speaks about that in Matthew's. I want to end up from that chapter. This Matthew's
Precepts. Comment board. And Salaki, if we didn't get all the precepts, we just been rocking out. Hey, the water for the precepts, they help with the lesson. You know, other brothers will, write them down, throw them in the journal. You know, take pictures of them. You know,
Yeah,
look them up later. That's what I do.
Yep, that's what I do.
Take a snapshot of the screenshot, and I'll look it up later, add it to my arsenal.
And a lot of time,
Add a mental note.
Yeah, yeah.
I read it 4 or 5 times throughout the day. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of time when you do that, you know you take a snapshot or a screenshot. Those can be able to the Lord will work on your spirit to be able to evolve around those scriptures. You know what I
You
mean?
know, you can do a lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
Single scripture.
Matazakba, a lot of when I was first starting, that's why I used to. It'd be like one part of a lesson, right? And I would take it. It'd be like 100 precepts. You know, because brothers always put in precept. Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And then you go to the Blue Letter Bible, and then you can, you know, build from. You know, just start building.
Yep.
You know what I
Get a
mean?
video that going in the topic. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, because all this stuff is the same thing over and over again. You know, it's just rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, because again, famine, you know, the pestilence, all these different things are just they happen over and over again. That goes into through recognition comes what, or through repetition comes recognition. Okay, and so we're supposed to be constantly going over these breakdowns in these scriptures, right? And that goes through faith. Matthew 17:20, and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily, so truly, I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence toward yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So again, nothing's going to be impossible to those that believe in Yahweh Hashem Shai. Okay, and that mountain goes into what? This government. And the scriptures.
Looking on that scripture, let me get Luke 10.
Okay, come.
Luke 10 real quick. Matches up with that. I mean, it complements it, you know what I'm saying?
I got. Let me get this one scripture just because we were speaking about that. We were speaking about that vine right here. This is real quick. This is John 15:5. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, I in him, the same brighten forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. So again, without Yahweh Shem Shai, without our true power, we can't do nothing. Okay, we're at a low estate.
Get that one more time, brother.
Yep. I just went back. Let me get it.
John 15.
Yeah, I got it. 15:4 or 15:5. Yep. It's okay. Come on. Starting to get a little breezy.
Oh yeah.
John 15:5, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking in red letter, because that's how our Lord's coming. He's the ransom. The currency is what now? Blood, right? This is John 15:5. I am the vine. You are the branches. He that abideth in me, I in him. Okay, going into the temple, going into the body of Yahweh Shai, right? The same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing.
This is 2nd Ezra 9:20 down to 22. And it reads, so I considered the world, and behold, there was a peril going into evil times, because of the devices that were come into it. 2nd Ezra 9:21. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cut. So I'll start again from the top. My reading lately. This is 2nd Ezra 9:21. And
Bring
I
it
saw
out.
and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant. For with great labor have I made it perfect.
Beautiful.
You know, going into the vine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, going into the I thought you were gonna break it down. Yeah, going into the elect, that grape, that cluster of the grape. Okay, going into that vine. And right now we're seeing we're seeing that this is this place is what ripe for the plucking. Okay.
This is Luke 10, and I'll start with 17. And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name. And he said to them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven, which is happening right now before our very eyes. Satan, Shaitan, the adversary, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, beginning with their wicked elite, are falling from rulership. You know, you have heaven as a state or condition. You have 4 heavens. Heavens being the firmament, the skies, the heaven of heaven, where, you know, Yahweh Shai, you know, the Heavenly Father are. Then you have the condition of heaven, you know, as far as rulership, so on and so forth, which Esau, Edom is in. And then you have the kingdom of heaven.
Yep.
This is Luke 10:17, and it reads, and he said, Luke 10:18, and he reads, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, you know, wicked jakes, you know, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not, that your spirits are it's like it. Notwithstanding in this, rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven.
You know, and that's what we're praying to be written in that book.
Yep.
That it speaks about real quick, just because we said we went on Matthew, but this is Daniel.
Give it a few seconds unless you turn back.
Okay, Kun. This is Daniel 12:1. At that time shall Michael stand up, and the great prince which stand before the children of people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to them at the same time. And at that time people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book.
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone that is found written in the book of life.
Yep.
You know. Also, you have those who are not written in the book of life. What are they going to do? This is Revelation 13 and 8, and it reads, "And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world." And that's the 2/3. You know, the heathen nations. They're going to do what? They're going to worship the beast. You know, and those people's names are written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. That Lamb is talking about Yahushua.
Yep.
You know.
And that goes into that they're not part of what the great cluster. They're not part of the elect.
Fine.
Okay, they're gonna have to go in. They're gonna have to, die on the Mount Zabak, right, the altar, and then they're gonna have to come back in the bowels of the elect. Okay, we're in the kingdom.
That's mercy.
Yep, because again,
even the Jake who walks down here with the little Baphomet horns on his head.
Yeah.
Even the little fruity motherfuckers that was
he's not gonna
scrolling by on the skates, man, mocking and scoffing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they're
even
not.
the dude that was, if he's a Jake, he's gonna be reborn in the kingdom in his right mind. You know, I believe he might be a Japhite, the dude that killed the Baphomet horns, but you never know.
Yep.
He was hanging out with a whole bunch of Eves. He could be a Jake.
Yep.
And that's mercy. You know?
But the thing is, he's not gonna have to put on that cult of personality of wearing and everyone looking at him as the devil. You know what I mean? Because our people have surpassed the wicked. There's this, and what we're speaking about is this guy around here. He wears horns, like in the sign of a devil. Okay, and he's a Jake, or he looks like a Jake, right? And he has what the devil horns basically on his head, like just like two braids. And that's our people.
Out like this, and they're blonde. They're blonde.
Yeah. Yeah, so he like Christianity.
Usually when we're out here on Sundays, there'll be a whole bunch of merchants and shops and stuff, and they'll be right there with Eve blasting the R&B or the rap or the trap music. You know what I'm saying?
The drill
Usually
music.
right here on Sunday, but I've been seeing them lately a lot on Wednesday. They'll be walking up and down the strip.
Okay. So this is you said you want to end on this, Matthew?
Yeah, 17.
Okay. So this is 20. Yep. Matthew 17 and 20, and Yahushua. Okay. And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, okay, faith, right? Very, very important. You can't. Let me just add on to this.
Please the Heavenly Father without faith. Faith is the evidence of things not seen.
Yep. And you can't buy faith. You can't go down to 7-Eleven and say, well, I'm going to buy some faith. I'm going to buy some wisdom. You know what I mean? You can't buy these things. These are gifts from Yahweh Shai. So again, Matthew 17 and 20, and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, right?
This government, Esau Edom's mountain, you know what I'm saying? His government, his wicked elite, people who are ruling the earth right now. You know what I'm saying? Which we're saying through the scriptures, which we're saying through this doctrine, the song of victory, the song of Moses, the new song.
Yep. Which mountain goes into, just to add on to that, goes into what? The peak. The summit, which this would be the summit of these elites of their governments.
Well, that's what they call their meetings. Summits.
Oh yeah, summits. Yeah, beautiful.
Summit, so on and so
Oh yeah, cut.
Yep. Mountains goes into big governments. Hills goes into small governments.
So like you would have countries, and then you would have hills, would probably be like cities or towns and things like that, right?
That's why I want to get Jeremiah 25 and 26, just to bang the point home.
Okay.
I got life on the camera. I'm big.
Start getting woozy.
Legs.
Yeah, start getting the sniffles, legs.
Jeremiah 51 and
Just because of the ocean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the sand.
And then that fire, I don't know, people just be burning batteries and shit.
Burning plastic, you can smell it. Jeremiah 51 and 25.
All right, Jeremiah 51 and 25, it says, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain.
Talking about Esau Edom, the wicked elite of Esau Edom. You know, who've destroyed all the earth, you know, through deforestation, you know, through turning up everything upside down, through wicked philosophies, and eventually he's going to destroy his own capital, Basra.
It says, "Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain," saith,
destroying mountain, because this man is his death. Everything he pushes leads to death.
says, "saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which destroyeth all the earth,
Which destroyed all the earth. That's what he's done.
and I will stretch out my hand upon thee,
Yep.
and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain."
Yep. A burnt government, a place of every unclean and foul creature and word.
Desolation.
Yep. You know, Revelation 18:2. Want to get 26, brother?
Verse 26.
Yep.
It says, "And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner,
Yep. The Arabians shall not pitch tent there,
nor a stone for foundation."
nor a stone for foundations, man. It's going to be a burnt mountain through.
Yeah. Real quick. What does it say? No nephew, no son, no uncle.
Yep.
Okay, going into what their heritage, they're not going to be able to build ever again.
Or fill the earth with cities.
Yep. Never be in rulership, and going into their what they're going to be getting is what the dirt and the worms, as we read in Sirach, I think it's 10 and 11.
Yep. First Maccabees 2:62 and 63. This is the portion of a wicked man, you know, dung and worms, roughly paraphrasing.
Yep.
Is that it?
It says, verse 26, nor
Start from the top,
it
brother.
says,
26.
and they,
Whole thing.
verse 26,
Okay.
"And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai."
That's the future of America, Babylon the Great, which we're set to prophesy against. You know, Son of Man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against him. You know, if you keep on reading, it says, "I will make thee desolate." You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
I got it right here. Isaiah 13 and 19.
Yep.
And Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
You want to start with 17? Because
I know. 16?
Yeah.
Uh,
Names who's going to be the co-conspirators in making Edom's land.